season of MPL Philippines is brought to you by the following sponsors. Infinix, the official gaming phone partner, the power behind every Madlang gamer. Smart, the simply reliable connectivity partner of the MPL. Our partner in esports, Clear Men. And our strategic partners, TT Racing, Ferry, and SIP. Don't miss any MPL action by following our official Facebook and subscribing to our YouTube channel. Follow MPL PH on TikTok for more content. Experience the lakas ng Pinas of MPL PH Season 17 live at Victoria Sports Tower. Grab your tickets now via the official MPL PH website. MPL Philippines is monitored and supervised by the Games and Amusement Board.
What is up, MPL Superfans? Isa na namang umaatikabong linggo ang ating masasaksihan. Welcome sa pagbubukas ng Week 2. This is your very own Odin, and right here with me is a very powerful woman, na si Denise.
Well, but you know, Odin, hindi pa rin ako get over from our matches last opening week. Feeling ko, mas titindi pa yung bakbakan ng bawat team dahil bawat team nga, sulong pataas ang target.
Alam mo, tama ka dyan, Denise. Nowhere to go but up at ramdam na natin na preparado ang bawat kupunan ngayong linggo. Kaya naman para sa TNC Pro Team, titingnan natin kung kaya nilang ilabas ang kanilang tunay na laro at pigilan ang unang import sa MPL Philippines na si Savero. Sino kaya ang mangingibabaw?
Ooh, two massive matchups na siguradong magtatakda ng tono ngayong araw. Kaya MPL Superfans, walang kukurap.
Abangan na natin lahat ng aksyon dito lamang sa tahanan ng pinakamalalakas.
Ito ang MPL Philippines Season 17. Palag na to!
Panibagong simula na naman para sa mga laban na masasaksihan natin sa ikalawang linggo. Welcome to the official second week of the MPL Philippines Season 17. Just like what our hosts have mentioned, tuloy-tuloy ang palag. We are here at the Filipino broadcast. My name is Hans Galeria, joined by Joshi Cakes and of course Midnight, and over to the English desk.
And here we are once again, it's us, the Wee Bear Bros. It's me, Naisu, Leo, and Renmar.
And of course, our tournament is monitored and supervised by the Games and Amusements Board. Maraming salamat po for having us, and what an incredible first week we've had during the course of time. First 3 days, non-stop action. Parang nag-e-expect pa ako, or nag-e-expect pa tayong lahat ng mas matitindi pa para maitaas yung level ng kompetisyon.
Daming nangyari. Even from AP Bren, we saw yung kanilang best performance so far out of those years na nakita natin sila during their first weeks. They are on top 1 together with Team Liquid Philippines. Parehas na parehas ang standing. Isang talo lang, isang game loss lang ang meron.
I think part of this, when you look at the standings for a lot of us, and what I've heard internationally, is people weren't expecting AP Bren to be there at the top. Now, I know it's alphabetical order there with TLPH, but I think that's a surprise for a lot of people, but I would say it's been in the making for AP Bren.
Yeah, it's been an interesting start to the season for them. I've been glazing them in my content already. I think I'm not going to glaze them enough here. Maybe later on in the week, but we're going to be starting off with two teams who had a difficult start to the season. Twisted Minds and Omega still have not gotten a series win, but I like how even though you saw them not get that dub, you still see shades of the potential that they could show off in terms of how they can get their wins. Again, for most of MPLPH history, it's really just a question of consistency. How consistently can you perform your strengths so that you can get Ws?
Not to call match 1 a speed bump, but I'm excited for match 2. ONIC PH versus TNC. I wonder which XP laner will play, and I hear the Phoenix Army are cooking something up. That happens later on tonight.
Yeah, you know what? This match, I actually am a glazer of TNC. I used them in the content. Sabi ko, anything below top 3 is unacceptable for this team. But on the other hand, you have ONIC Philippines. In contrast naman, hindi ako glazer, pero I did say na medyo malaki yung expectations from Savero. And to be honest, he's been performing.
And considering na ito ang ating unang laban ngayon, isa lang ang paraan, isa lang ang daan para sa dalawang teams na to for Twisted and Omega. Yun ay ang sumulong pataas. Naglabas na sila ng kanilang lakas during the start of time. And guys, it's just incredible. You know, MDL talents from a few years back, and now they are here in the MPL stage. Magtatagisan sila ng galing.
Ako parang ako yung pinaka naging witness dito. Lalong-lalo na for both of these teams.
Oo nga pala.
He was
Twisted
there.
Minds.
He was there.
I was there. Mga Joshi X was there. And then, we saw a lot of potential coming in from this man, Mingwin, El Capitan, nanggaling sa kaharian, ngayon nasa barangay na.
That is sounding like a downgrade. Di ba parang kingdom tapos barangay, but he got the upgrade of a century from rookie to captain. Actually, pinagsabay niya. He's now both a rookie and a captain. Here's the question. What does he bring to the barangay? Why suddenly, in his first season in the MPL, Smart Omega goes, one of the biggest franchises in all of sports today, goes, you be captain.
Yeah, and considering the fact that they got Ziva in the Rome, how do you find that balance? And I think moving forward for Omega, that's going to be my biggest question for them. The balance between Rome, mid, and EXP. Last season for Omega, it seems like our mantra in the English broadcast for James was go with James. So now how are you going to go with Mingwin leading the board? And now with Perk Ziva there as well, paired up with here on the Rome, where is the balance for Omega?
Yeah, that's a question for the barangay. But on the other hand, you have a contrast, no? You bring up the question, now Sean has proven he has a big statement here in our league. Pinakita niya na yung kanyang lakas last season. He was an outstanding player, even being the rookie of the season. So it does tell us na itong mga rookie na to, may bitaw talaga eh. There is a reason why these teams pick up these players, and we've seen it from Sean. Like, rookie experience, it does matter, but if you play amazing, lahat ng question ay madaling sagutin.
Right, this guy is certified, especially nung season 16. And Naiso, you've been sharing the same role with Sean and also Mingwin. So these two guys are gonna be going head to head. Pero ano bang nakita mo kay Sean during that time na nagpaitang gilas talaga siya last season?
I'm going to have to answer that in just a second because
I'm sorry,
that was coming.
Atin si Wolf?
Wala.
Wala si Wolf.
Wala si Wolf.
Asan si Wolf?
Pero meron tayong keys to victory. Ngayon, ito ang kailangan gawin ng ating mga teams upang maipanalo ang kanilang mga series. We have Twisted Minds, leverage Kaloy's set of roamers, and also explore how deep the dark continent can be. We have an amazing coach, such as Bonchan, that was able to bring a lot of interesting picks in the league's history. And then you have players that are able to execute. We've seen how amazing Kaloy is in the roaming position with the likes of the Khalids, yung mga high-lows, even the Kalea. Now the question is, how big and how wide is the pool is for Twisted Minds? Now the question for Barangay Renmar.
Yeah, well, the thing with Omega, it goes on with what I was saying earlier again. Perks, Mingwin really need to talk about and find their balance of shot calling around the center of the map, around the river. So it's good that that's the focus here. And here's a little secret for you. If you want a little bit more river control, you also need your EXP laner to come in with help. So I think analytically, I'm going to be looking at Omega, going back again to the three that I mentioned already, the roam mid plus the EXP, talk to each other. How do you find control in the river? And of course, how will you help your EXP laner get out of lane so that it doesn't become a dead lane? I think for Omega, one of their focuses has to be making sure that James can get out of lane frequently to help the map.
So there's a ton of layers towards it, and I'm gonna get back to you on that because Naisu, you got some pretty nice looking expats over there.
We do. We all have them over here. But you guys, if you want to level up your game and your grades, the best students don't just study hard, they study smart.
That's right. Meet the Infinix XPad 30E, the first true education tablet in the Philippines. It features an 11-inch FHD plus big screen, an AI tutor on tap, and, of course, over 120,000 free courses.
11 inches! It's time to make learning easier and a whole lot more fun. Get your Infinix XPad 30E, your easy learning smart buddy.
Maraming salamat sa Infinix and of course the XPad for providing it for all of us. It's pretty cool that we have it now on the desk. Pero Naisu, finally makakausap ka na namin. We've been cutting you off for quite some time.
Okay lang yan.
Pag-usapan natin yung rate is Tagalog, guys. Rate is Tagalog now.
Magaling.
5 out of 7.
Yeah. 5 out of 7.
I like
I'll
it.
take that.
Magaling.
6 out of 7.
Going back, Naisu, let's talk Dark Continent. Week 1 in, bro. Week 1 in, are you pro Dark Continent or you feel like meron ka pang gustong makita or dapat ba we should just like sack him and like toss him back the garbage?
I'll tell you this, man. My favorite hero is Gord. I think he belongs in the Dark Galaxy. Literally, because he's never going to get picked this season, but I will say this, I've always been a proponent of these kind of, let's just say, non-meta heroes that aren't typically picked up. And I think there's room for them. It's just, you do in the early part of the season, and I think over time we see the meta kind of fit into place here. So I'm not against it. And what other team to do that? We saw this even last season where Twisted Minds really bent the meta early on, and they continue to do so. So I think there's a room for it. It's just, I don't know. I don't know how long we're going to be in the Dark Continent for.
Joseph, are you challenging the league? It's just week 2 and you're saying Gord is never going to get picked?
Hey, man, if he gets picked,
Para naman naubusan ka na ng pag-asa. Nice.
Nice, huwag ka mag-alala. Na-pick ni Leslie.
Oh yeah,
Just
I mean,
saying.
we already got a
would
Leslie
destroy
pick.
Gord?
I mean, there's still a lot more than we're looking for. Valier getting picked up.
Valier.
Bauman got picked up.
Bro, the Hanabi got picked
The
up.
Hanabi got picked up last week also. So, I mean, I'm not going to turn off the idea of the Dark Continent, like, just completely disappearing. I hope it stays a little bit longer. It's early in the season. I want to see more unique picks. I want to see the meta get stretched out. I want to see innovation from the teams.
You know, we're hoping that we see more of that later on. That is the English desk over here. You're going to be joining us here at the Filipino broadcast. Pero sa ngayon, let's toss it over to both of our teams.
To ensure the integrity of the game, please welcome our marshals on stage, Chico, JD, Joshua G, and Miko. The opening chapter is over and it's time to flip the script. Prepare for the ultimate plot twist. Onto the stage, Twisted Minds! The barangay is in the building and they are marching as one. Give it up for Smart Omega! And our head referee, the man in the middle, the Chop Master, Sent. The head coaches are Coach Bonchan and Coach Wura. MPL Arena, welcome to the second week of Season 17. Magingay!
okay, here we go. Let's take us through Twisted Minds first here, Leo. What do they have on the table for us today?
What they have is Owl, the SEA Games gold medalist who took down hardware from Vietnam. As foreshadowed by Nosha last week, he said, hey, good luck to my brother. I hope he has fun when he plays next week. He did play, because next week is today's time is hard. But yeah, no, we do see Owl for real playing now.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that Twisted Minds has over Omega is at least they have one game win, even though they didn't win the series, while Omega got swept in their only match against AP Bren. What I like about the Omega that I saw there is that despite Mingwen coming in as a rookie captain, is you see the flow of battle that they have. Remember, in game number 1 against AP Bren, they were in the lead for majority of it. It only took 2 Lord fights for AP Brent to come out of nowhere and completely twist the game. So, Omega, I think they're actually going to take it to Twisted Minds here. They're going to try to take control of it early on.
I think to go off the discussion that we had with our 6-man panel earlier on, you gotta kind of put this into context here. And for anyone that also, if you followed esports or sports in general, think about the responsibility that we're talking about here for Mingwen specifically. As a rookie, sitting into that captain role, going from all your seasons and experience, 5 seasons it was in the MDL, and then now being here in the professional league, leading some pretty seasoned players here. That is a big responsibility, and that's something that you've got to see them really kind of come into that responsibility. I think there's more for the fans out there that have been watching Mingwen in his time leading up to the professional league, want to see that here in the MPL. But before that, before we talk more about the matchup, we're going to check over on our ping test. Let's go ahead and over.
Perks, galingan natin parehas, Perks. Anong preparation natin, pre? Sana makaula na kami, guys. Sana manalo na kami, guys. Sana makatagos tayo, guys. Sana manalo tayo lahat. Sana panalo tayo sa buhay. Dasal lang tayo, tol. Pati pa naman sa checkping, strict yung account ko. Sana makachamba sa mga gods, sa mga old gods. Sa mga old gods dyan, sana makachamba ang mga current. Ano daw feelings, pre, nung nasa MPL na, pre? Sobrang saya. Andito pa rin kami, magkakampi pa rin kami simula MDL hanggang MPL ngayong this season.
Masaya dahil na-appreciate ng mga orgs yung mga MDL natin. Parang dami nila ngayon. Kailangan natin, pre, ha? Kailangan natin manalo, pre. Yung mga pumunta dito, pre, ilang oras bumiyayan, pre, para supportahan tayo. Okay? Second game of the season, sana manalo kami, guys. Yun. Grabe, ang dami niyo pala MDL Cup, no? Nakakapasok na. Kalat na. Pati sa ibang region, grabe. Ayun guys, message ko kay Coach Bon. Coach Bon, namiss na kita. Namiss ko ng mga turo mo sa akin. Pero sana ngayong araw, kami muna, Coach.
And there we go. That's our Smart 5G ping test there. A couple words shared here between both teams. Renmar, what were they saying for our international viewers out there?
Honestly, just like a lot of general reactions, wishing well for each other. And good luck.
And some reunion talk.
Yeah, and you see the strong influence of Filipino vloggers with the overabundance of guys.
Guys, yeah. I've always wondered that, you know? I've always wondered where that came from.
Part of the culture, man. It's our vloggers. Everyone just uses guys.
You just address people in general.
Yeah. Well, and generally in this game, I want to kind of see a whole lot here from both these teams that we did get to see last week. But I always say that, like week one, as we see, the game one's going to be on flying clouds here, which is, mind you, was kind of what we saw last week on day one.
This or Rivers?
Rivers, yeah, Rivers. I think there's last week's struggles for Twisted and Omega. A 1 week can change a whole lot, though. That's one thing we've learned. I know some teams that usually start off rough on the opening season or opening week of the season are able to go ahead and make those adjustments. I think my biggest thing, though, as someone who used to be part of, I feel like, the Barangay, like I sang for them, right? It was like, that, we're not going to talk about that. We're going to throw it back. But we did. I've always wanted to see more from Smart and Mega. Even when they had like some major names in there, I always just felt like I wanted more from them.
I think the Barangay were struggling with the weight of, as you mentioned, the responsibility of Mingwin as their captain last week. And it's safe to say they had jitters. I'd like to think that was it because there was definitely a concept to what they were doing. Yeah. There was some method to the madness. Talking about their game one when they had that Hanabi, they almost won. They almost won, legit. It's just they were too honest that when it came to the late game, they were feeding their opponent exactly what they were doing because there's only really one way to do that, front to back. So now, what I'm hoping for is a little bit of old Omega, wherein it's a rattlesnake, where you're not sure how they're going to strike, from what angle, and it's not the perfect match to do that from, or the map. Flying Clouds. We're playing with the sky, with the Cloud Prince, come on!
Omega decided to respect the Kalea of Kaloy, so immediately taking away one of the best options that you could give to take that heat of victory we mentioned earlier about getting Kaloy on the setup style roamers. There's still a lot of setup, but then one of the strongest in terms of pick-off is gone. The Valentina first pick turns off a lot of possibilities for Omega, and I like that they decided to lean towards the Valentina. I was actually thinking about it heading into the draft we're in. I think Omega are going to be looking at Twisted and saying, hey, we're going to be going for a lot of dive. You were asking Omega to not be so honest with their approach. I want them to be very honest in the sense of Twisted knows what's coming. It's full dive. And they immediately go for one of the most full dive marksmen that you can go for the Claude. And then they get the Fredrin as well. The Valentina is that good balance. You don't want to go up against full dive when you have an Eve early on. High chance the opposing team is going to get a lot of the early objectives, something you don't want to do up against Omega. So you find the balance of that. Again, the common theme here for the series. So they get the Valentina first. So now with Twisted, they decide to answer back right away with the carry. Typical matchup in lane. Claude carry that we saw. That's a trend from M7. While they can lock in their roamer, and they do, they pick up the Khalid for that faster rotation. So far, I like the trades that we're seeing. Twisted Minds, even though they know that they're going to go up against full dive, that doesn't mean they're going to take the early game laying down on their back. They also want to be proactive early on.
Twisted has always been one of those teams that can be pretty chaotic in the early game of their matches, and usually are able to go ahead and take games pretty quickly. This Valentina pick on the blue side had more of a trend towards the end of week one when we saw it quite a bit picked up, and it's just one of those picks that allow you kind of this double advantage in a way where you're able to go ahead and take some of these ultimates from the opposing team, but also you make them think twice about what they are going to pick up. Another pick that got banned out quite a bit last week was this Hilda, so it does finally get locked in. This is quite sturdy in their first three picks already for Omega between the Fredrin, the Hilda, to go ahead and help deal with, most likely, some of that chaos, some of that early aggression that we're used to seeing when a Khalid, especially, and a Valentina. Remember how much threat there is in the mid lane early on with a Khalid and Valentina.
Yeah. And remember, when it comes to the mid lane, you're also looking at a lot of big-ticket ultimates that Valentina can steal. Whether or not Omega will end up picking up a Jin, a Farsa, an Eve, all of them is instantly just great utility for Twisted Minds to have. So for the second phase of the draft, sadly, Omega's actually going to be just picking their poison. Which one are they more willing to go up against? Well, Twisted Minds still don't want to give that Eve to Omega. Of course, with the Fredrin there, the Claude, the dive will actually be helped out a lot by the real-world manipulation, so it's a good ban by Twisted.
This is a really weird Game 1 draft. It feels like a first date. It's like you're both holding out on details, and then when you hear a certain context, it feels like, oh, I have really weird traveling. So, oh, so we're not traveling. Oh, I guess I'm not picking an assassin since there's a Hilda on the other side. Oh, I guess I'm not picking a big ticket ult in mid. Because really, what ult is left? The Farsa? The Zetian, weirdly enough, is still available.
Yeah. I'm actually leaning towards Omega picking up the Zetian there, because if you're going to go up with a lot of dive and you want to get up close, you want to get the vision first. You want to have an idea of where your opponents are before you go ahead and full commit the dive. Because if not, then Netsky's going to be playing a game of chicken of like, should I? Or should I not? I should, and then he'll just get blasted, which you don't want your Claude to experience.
Get that Zetian R4, because, come on, truth be told, even with the Valentina, you have to set that up. You have to two-step, find the Zetian, steal it, and then hold on to it when it matters.
Which finding the Zetian might not be easy, because Hilda's always going to be up front, getting vision. And granted, we also still don't see the EXP lane for James just yet.
Oh man, I missed the statement last season. Follow James. Was it follow James?
Go with James.
Go with James. Go with James. Okay, here's a Kimmy pick that gets locked in.
They're not giving any ults, bro.
They're not.
No ults. This is the go with James hero.
This is. And it also just, I mean, it works really well here too. To take that away, because why did they go Harley?
Because they needed burst.
Yeah.
And you can't play like a traditional assassin anymore.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards Twisted Minds with this one. I think James just has to... It's rough, because even if he ends up with something like an Alice, there's so much mobility inside of Twisted Minds. It's a question of, are you actually even going to catch anyone? Plus, you do have the damage profile to mess that up. Glue would be slow, but pretty okay. Usually we see the Glue Phoveus separated, and then there is just a game of who can last longer in the team fight so that their opposing team can go. Omega picking up the Kimmy, I understand. They didn't want to give ults. It pairs up very well with the Fredrin, but it's now, they're too honest. With what Leo was saying earlier, it's very clear that what the game plan is, and that might actually come back to bite them. It's front to back.
All right, it's a CC.
Okay.
CC comes through. It has not done well. It's been picked up once.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is going to be kind of tough, but yeah, very apparent what the game plan is here. Before we jump in, I got to ask you guys, super fans, want to win 1,000 MLBB diamonds? You guys can predict the match winner correctly. Scan the QR below to know more. For everybody that's been asking me for diamonds, this is the way you can get them. Go ahead and scan that QR.
So what's good about Twisted Minds is that, for Omega, despite it being really honest, it's good old honesty that we know has succeeded for the longest time. It's Fredrin, it's Hilda. It's after the first turtle, if you didn't handle your turtle fight really well, or your buff is open, then you're gonna get invaded, especially since it's a Harley in the jungle. And if the Harley's buff after the turtle gets taken away from him, then it's gonna be a tough crawl for Twisted Minds. But you see with the ratings, because of their damage profile, the possibility of Twisted taking control of this is feasible as well. It's easier for Omega, but will their honesty come back to bite them is the biggest question.
Well, this is going to be the biggest question we have. Opening our second week here, jumping into our first match. Both teams looking to get a dub for this season already here. Twisted Minds versus Omega. Let's jump into the early action in the mid.
Perxiva taking a lot of damage. Forced to flicker out. Not enough range on Sean.
Leo, that's exactly what I was talking about. Like, you got to respect the early burst potential.
Between a Khalid and a Val?
Yeah. I don't know if there's anything that does more damage than that. I mean, you can pair a lot with the Valentina, but a Khalid and a Valentina, good thing he burned the flicker. I mean, it's down. He's got to kind of adjust early game a little bit from that. Let's take a look at the emblems here. What are we looking at?
Pretty standard across the board. Ryzen decided to go for the tank emblem set. okay, I'll go for the attacks, but he decided to go for a thrill instead, so he does have the adaptive attack. So, yeah, when you're going up against the mid-duo of Omega, knowing how honest they are, then how you beat honesty is making sure that they can't even say anything in the first place. Burst them down right away in the center of the map.
Real-world advice. No, I'm joking.
Yeah,
that's how you deal with honesty right there. But what we're basically saying here is just there is a clear path to this lineup that Omega wants to make work. If they do go off the rails, they're going to find themselves in a very tough position to actually get themselves back into this game if they fall behind. So the best thing they can do is get an advantage early on. And so if you really look at it objectively, they should have that possibility to happen here. But there's, again, Twisted can just, they have a lot of tools to kind of deal with that. And again, a carry late game, shredding through some of these tankier members of Omega could cause some caution here for them.
How is Twisted going to build advantage heading into the first turtle as Omega now set up advantage for themselves? Again, one of the things we were mentioning earlier, make sure James can comfortably play through the lane and then be active in the objective fights. MP the King and Ryzen are here. They're going to go for the full contest.
That is a full four-man coalition from either side. Turtle at half health. It's a lot of damage out to Kaloy. Gets on out of there. Ryzen with a secure. Perxiva comes in. Fertile pursuit from Lansu. Jumps on to James. Ryzen takes a whole lot of damage. Traction pulse. Able to save Ryzen for only a second longer. First blood goes to Omega, but they trade for their jungler. MP finds another. Capminguin falls.
Twisted Minds handled that really well. So you saw the possibility that we were mentioning, right? If Twisted Minds weren't able to avoid the Appraiser's Wrath of that Fredrin, Ryzen would have gotten kills, and then it would have been an easy invade by Omega afterwards. But because Twisted Minds got the sidestep, Ryzen went in a little bit too deep trying to get the kills. Omega couldn't back up their jungler well enough, and MP the King actually conserved his ultimate so that he could take Ryzen down. That was the perfect way to handle that first turtle by Twisted, and Omega cannot find the ganks that they want.
Oh, Kaloy jumps on the Perks! Perks got a deadly magic on him, and he's gonna pop just like that!
That feels bad. I mean, when you're dealing with a Harley, and you get deadly magic and you know you're guaranteed to die, you just kind of accept your fate. Yep. I'll take care of it. Oh,
blazing the wet by Netsky to push back three members of Twisted. Oh, Netsky is getting pressured hard.
Yeah, Omega have effectively lost the first 5 minutes of the game. They should still be able to contest for the next turtle, but it's going to be one where they need to win it. Because if more kills go to the side of Twisted Minds, Omega's going to lose this game quick. Great handling, again, of the center of the map and the aggression that they're doing. Kaloy and Sean have really been carrying Twisted Minds here, alongside with great timing by MP the King. He's 3 kills to no deaths.
It's really crazy, too. That first tower down bot is almost down. It's literally 1 or 2 HP away from being taken out. So that's just how much pressure Twisted has been able to go ahead and put across the map. I mean, think it started up at the first turtle, transitioned down to some action there on the bottom side, and now you've got less than 10 seconds for this turtle to come up here. And a Genius one already for MP the King with that build that he started up early on. You can see the advantage. He's 1,000 gold against the Fredrin here for Ryzen. And that's what we were talking about. If you fall behind here, you're going to find yourself in a very tough position.
That's where the gold lead is at right now between MP and Owl over to Ryzen and Netsky. It's tough.
Okay, next turtle up. They're in position for this. Both gold laners waiting to maybe join. Oh.
In comes Lansu, and they put a lot of damage onto James. James can fight. Blazing the wet from Netsky, and he can't last in there. That Brazer's Wrath hit no one, and that just leads to free kills for Twisted once more, and a turtle on the way out.
That should also mean Turtle 3 and Lord 1 for Twisted Mind later on unless Omega can find a turnaround. But the difficult thing is, them finding a turnaround is gonna be a detriment to Netsky, because now you need to get farm on your Claude, who's 1,200 and counting behind the carry. So Omega need to find a way to get farm for their Claude while also getting kills, while also keeping or maybe gaining map control. They have to choose which route they have to go for. If I'm going to pick for them, just make sure Netsky gets his farm, man.
This is why we were saying, once again, through the draft, once those picks got slotted in here for Omega, it was like, man, this is almost too easy to kind of see what's going to happen, and then you just keep pressing on the wound from the early game. Look at this, 4.2K ahead already at this point.
Yeah, the economy is so tight on Netsky. That first rotation was his first double lane, not because he chose to, not because they called it, but because they were with him. And that bottom lane was just too dangerous because that lane turret got pushed in deep. This is not up to him anymore.
Yeah, and it's going to be tough to get map control when you're up against Khalid. When you're in the objective fights, as we saw, they have multiple points of entry and initiation. Lancer with his flicker, flicker in his setup, and then you can also get Kaloy to be the setup. They have good alternates. They can actually sustain a lot of damage, heal through it too. It's a really tough climb for Omega. Perkziva goes for the Radiant Armor first item, and that's desperate because he just needs to survive the initial onslaught of damage coming out from MP the King and Sean.
Yeah, there's so much magic damage front-loaded here with the lineup from Twisted that Omega doesn't really have much of a choice but to go in that terms of the path of itemization. A golden staff now picked up for Owl. He's got his 2 items locked in, and you're seeing the amount of damage Owl can already do on the carry this early on will give them the advantage into this next turtle fight. I almost don't know if Omega really wants to put themselves in this position again where they potentially lose another team fight and sets himself even further back. I mean, even with this Perkziva, your damage isn't going to be enough. Kaloy can just heal back up.
Don't do it. Parks, a lot of damage on him. Dashes deadly magic straight to the face. Yep. Twisted Minds take all their time to secure that last turtle. Omega can't even contest. It's so bad right now. It's so sad. It's so dire for Omega. It's like 2 tow trucks pulling at each other. The Kimmy and the Claw just helping farm, helping farm.
Yeah, as expected. No second item even just yet for Netsky. Still on the component, not even to his DHS, while there's already a golden staff for Owl's carry.
Ryzen jumps on the MP here. MP, they bite down, and there's a traction pulse, keeping him down. Mingwin finds the kill. Now Kaloy pops that quick sand guard. The jump on the Perkziva, finds that bush, but there's way too much damage coming in from Twisted Minds. 1-for-1 trade.
We'll say that was worth. It was at least a shutdown. It was a small baby step in the right direction. They have so much more they need to be able to accomplish here as they try to hold on to this mid-turret.
Twisted Minds pushing it forward, blazing the wet by Netsky. Twisted Minds back off. Mingwin still firing away. And they might find Kaloy. In the comes Sean! Hits that! Right at the face. Omega backs off single-handedly off that move.
Did I see that right? That was Energy Eruption.
From Sean.
From Sean. Stolen by the Valentina. A la Super Friends. He's at it, yeah. Oh, now you have to also watch out for that. I forgot that that was also another avenue where they can engage and re-engage through the Valentina, stealing the Energy Eruption of the Fredrin. Now, after that last sequence where Omega got to get the kill onto MP the King, it's something. Another something that they got is actually Mingwin now has a Sky Piercer. Yeah. So if he can get some stacks on that, should be really good because I don't think Nesky's going to be getting kills anytime soon. He's going to be able to deal damage, yes. Already up to a golden staff. Now you're just waiting for the DHS. It's now your Kimmy is your main tool to bridge it over to the late game for the Claude. Kimmy's your carry right now. Play through Mingwin, play through your captain.
Yeah, that setup is still good, as we saw there with the Kimmy-Fredrin combination. But again, at some point, Twisted won't continue to put themselves in that position where they got caught. They're going to go ahead and start up this Lord, though. Ryzen gets the information over to the team. You've got Netsky swinging forward, but they're going to force it.
Oh my God, they burst down Ryzen! Didn't even get to hit the ult, and that's 2 down. Perkziva falls. You try to find James. James backs off. Twisted Minds, 2-man advantage. Omega won't contest.
Bro, that Fredrin has a Dreadnought armor and a Radiant armor and still got popped like that. They do not have the defense. Twisted Minds just went full damage. And again, with great play, shutting down the potential early game snowball of Omega, playing the objectives really well, handling the river so good. It's like they saw the keys to victory of Omega and said, hey, we should do that too.
Oh man, they're going to try to defend with these flying clouds.
Oh, here comes Ryzen off of the flying cloud. Misses FP. They clap back at Ryzen and Perks. They fall down again, stumbling from up on high.
That's demoralizing.
That little joker just gets away, man, with the slip of
They find Mingwin, Lancer with the flicker, Infernal Pursuit, and they penetrate through top.
Man, even more so is it demoralizing right now because this is insane to see that even with some Radiant Armors, a little bit of magic resist, look at the interaction between a Harley and a Valentina. Having the Genius Wand, Divine Glaives there, now a Holy Crystal for MP the King. Even the little magic resist you have is basically gone, and you can't deal with being overloaded. And then you have Aloe, able to kind of sweep in and do what he needs to do on this carry now. So they are going to handle this Lord. The Holy Defense is going to pop here. A charge from the Lord on that bottom turret. But if Twisted wants to force us with a 10K lead, they can go.
Oh! In comes the Flicker and the Reggie Sandstorm.
Wow.
Point blank, blazing to win. Not going to do much. Down goes Perks. Down goes Mingwin. And the rest of them go. Netsky, the only survivor. Twisted Minds take down 2 inhibitors. Oh, what's the Sky Prince going to do? Get away! Turn the base. It's over. Smart Omega. Kaloy have some words for game 1 as Twist takes it.
I mean, it's pretty clear. Omega lost that after Turtle 2. Twisted Minds, they knew their conditions. The advantage that they have with having the Khalid and Valentina together, you couldn't have handled it any other way, any better. You gotta give credit to Twisted. That was perfect.
Yeah, that was just about as good as it can get with that kind of composition, and you know, it makes me wonder exactly the outcome of this date, man. As we talked about from the draft there, this is just about as quick as it gets. Twisted's like, yeah, I know everything I need to know, I'm out of here. And look at what happened here, man. This game, I don't even know. I would say almost by Turtle 1, it looked a little dire already, you know, in this sense. And you don't really have a way to kind of deal with everything that Twisted was throwing at you because it was from all angles here, and Omega had one plan.
If I were to point out where exactly it went wrong, I'd say it was Red 4.
Yeah.
I think Omega spent too much time trying to deny the first pick Valentina any ults that they in turn lost the box. I think I'll diagnose this whole situation with Omega can't hold the box, and in turn they can't hold parts of the map.
Oh, there we go, man. Kaloy going to be the MVP here, and I think that's exactly, you know, something you have to go ahead and look at. He set things up for this to go the way that it did. 1-0-13 on the Khalid. And like I said, anytime you get the Khalid with the Valentina, you know your early game strengths are there. And that's what we saw. It started from getting that flicker out early on to waste that and then continue to put pressure early on around the jungle, around the map. I mean, looking at his build too, he had the Thunderbolt, he had the Fury Hammer. He was poking enough too. And it was part of the reason why, look how fast even the front liners of Omega here died. That's not where you want to be.
Yeah, it was this one. I think there were a lot of desperate moves also by Omega. Mingwin getting too greedy, trying to chase that kill. And then at this point, after the initial deaths that he suffered, it's a tough game for Prexiva. Even the Radiant Armor was not going to be enough to help sustain him. There's just way too much damage. I agree with the Red 4. Actually, looking back at it, with the ban, the second phase ban of Twisted Mind actually being the Lapu Lapu. Looking at the composition of Twisted Minds with the presence of the Valentina and the, well, you didn't see the Hardy yet.
Yeah.
But even with just the Valentina, you could actually slot in the Phoebus already. So we've seen before, Phoebus usually is one of the heroes picked up when you're up against a Valentina. The dash helps activate his enhanced basic attack to track. And if ever that maybe could have met a different hero, something for Twisted Minds, wherein now Omega has the power of the setup. That it isn't just the pressure on the Fredrin. Because if you look at Hilda and James, Hilda and CC together, it's very offensive-minded. I know the curtain call is there to help for the setup, and that's also an offensive tool, but you don't really think of CC as someone who can hold the front line.
No.
You don't have a front line holder here.
Their only real front line is the Fred.
The Fred,
Exactly.
who's getting blown up, by the way.
So
He
if
got blowed up.
blowed up out of here. If there's one adjustment to
I don't
make,
see the value in you, sorry.
yeah, sadly. I'm happy that you really wanted to get that out there. You know, no, that was clean, man.
I saw in his eyes.
He's proud. He's blushing right now. He's so proud of that one-liner. But yeah, Omega, I think they have to put more priority on James now for their drafts and not just play passively and say, let's just adjust on what the matchup is. No, be proactive. Get James someone who can set up.
Quit giving him a power pick from early 2025.
Yeah.
It's just so hard to make a CC work these days.
Yeah, I mean, they take the condition. They were able to get him out of lane first.
Yep.
But then once you saw that the objective, I was like, oh, right, James can just curtain call and then he's yo-yoing, and it's actually Ryzen going forward, which is sad times for your jungler to turn him into a roamer.
The game is just too fast now for CC to get away what she was getting away with throughout 2025.
Yeah.
So consider Khalid, Valentina. Those two alone are like, what's the CC gonna do?
Yeah, you don't want to be going with James on that pick, which, by the way, it's been picked up twice now, 0% win rate there. And so as you can see, you know, Kaloy helps Twisted dominate Omega in game 1, and that's exactly what it was. It was 11-25 on that game 1. It happened so quickly. I can't believe just how fast it fell apart there.
Yeah, played him.
They did. This can also outplay the rest with the Infinix GT30 featuring the GT trigger for lightning fast reactions and MLBB certified 120 FPS for ultra smooth control. Dominate the game with Infinix GT30, the power behind every Madlang gamer. Madlang. I like it. I always read that as Mad Lad. I don't know why.
Madlang.
Madlang. Madlang gamer. To dominate the land of Dawn, you need a connection that never lets you down. From scouting the rotations to tracking the pros, stay online and in the zone.
Power up with Smart Powerall 99. Get 10 gigs of data for MLBB and your favorite apps, plus unlimited Facebook, calls, and text. Share every gig moment with Smart, the simply reliable partner of the MPL.
You got a one-liner you want to add there, Red Mark?
I got nothing.
This is always your moment.
Amazing deal.
Yeah, what happened to the amazing deal of Season 17, man?
My villain art. I don't bother with that no more.
Well, you know what? The clock is ticking, just like his villain arc. And the seats are filled up. Don't miss your chance to witness ONIC Philippines versus TNC Pro Team right here at the Victoria Sports Tower. Tonight! That's happening tonight. Tickets are selling out fast, so get yours now. There's actually a ton, there's a ton of matches. I saw the post. They've already sold out.
Yeah.
Hey, we are the hottest esports league in the country. I would not doubt it.
Yeah. A lot of the Liquid, Aurora, Falcons, ONIC matches, the majority of the ones are the ones that sold out so far.
You know what? After tonight, all right, I'm gonna foreshadow. If you're watching at home, cooking your dinner, considering, oh, should I make it down to the Victoria Sports Tower? You're gonna be here. You're gonna want to be here for TNC's match tonight because something is cooking. Something's coming.
Let them cook, as they
You can see it. You can see it in the clouds. Something's coming.
Yeah.
In the clouds?
Yep. You know, you look at the clouds and like.
Have you guys ever actually looked at the clouds?
I'm usually indoors, so no.
Because I was gonna say,
I do sometimes.
There's a thing called sun therapy, and I'm not talking.
That's what my cats do.
That's true. So I'm not talking about the hero. That wouldn't be very therapeutic.
Yeah.
But what I am saying is that, yeah, sun therapy is great. You guys can head on over here, watch TNC to see exactly what we're talking about. But we'll leave it for later, because right now we have to go ahead and see exactly who's out there for our Smart Power pose. We've got some audience members out there. They've got to copy the pose. I think we got one guy, no, two guys, three.
No.
4?
There's a lot of them trying right now.
If you can spontaneously grow a mustache similar to Lansu, that would also help your steaks.
Get that perfect cowlick split.
Yeah. That's pretty difficult
Oh,
to do.
that's pretty close. Oh.
He had it. Why did he let it go?
Don't laugh. Don't laugh.
Why do people get shy when the camera's on? The point is, you hold the pose. Bro, I'm about to tilt on this. There we go.
Guy.
Just give it to him already.
He's got everything. He's got the little baby
got the
mustache.
bite.
Yeah.
He's got that cowlick split.
Oh, he's got the eyebrows too, man.
Other dude joke.
Oh.
No, he's doing too much. He's doing too much.
That's the wrong pose, sir.
He's doing too much. No, yeah, whoa.
Wait, what?
Whoa, what?
I just want to say that's the other thing that happens when the camera's on them too long.
Is he
They don't know how to
swimming?
act.
What was he swimming into?
I don't know. This
He's
guy has a
swimming
goatee.
into the power pose,
It's
man.
not a baby mustache, sir. That's a goatee.
Yeah.
All right. Do we get a winner? Do we got a winner here?
He's got a Widow's Peak building too, but
This guy's. Oh, they went back to him and he laughed again.
dude.
Our cameraman has not approved the video one yet.
Oh,
Here we
yeah,
go.
yeah.
Hey.
Contender.
That's pretty good.
What?
Solid. I like the face.
There we go. There.
Oh.
See, he's not doing too much. He's not doing like the jawline thing. He's actually. Oh, come on, man. I was already fighting for you, bro.
The guy is posted up behind him, though. I'll say
Is that
that.
contagious when you start doing it? People around you have to start picking up.
It might be, man. I think we're going for a winner right here.
Give it to him.
All right, this has to be a winner.
And
Is that our Smart Power Pose winner?
Where's the code?
Oh!
this guy won!
Plot twist. It ended up with him.
Plot twist! Okay, congratulations to our Smart Power Pose winner right there.
Believe it.
Man, we got that was our own plot twist here. All right, congratulations there, sir. Thank you so much for joining our Power Pose there. We'll go ahead and head out to the audience some more later on today.
I like how they've been playing around with that more. It's
Which
like
one?
they linger on a dude for very long, and then when you think, oh, he's gonna be awarded, it suddenly bang at someone else.
We need, you know what we need? We need like a bar. You know, like that this person might win. Like, so each person,
Oh, like a
there's
gauge,
like a
like a
gauge.
gauge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like how close they are
Oh.
to winning. I think that would be very visually helpful.
Same.
All right.
I would like a gauge too.
I would too in real life. Now let's talk about match 2 here for TWIS and Omega. Omega, obviously, we started the discussion for this match with Mingwin. Man, I just feel like he didn't even get the time to shine. Like, there was really maybe what, one traction pulse that I could think of that really
maybe their most one-sided game just yet. I don't know if, like,
it has to be, right?
Throughout week 1 if Omega lost in more devastating fashion, but this might game 1 here was like what, 1125 or something like that?
Yeah, 1125. At the end, it was like more than an 11,000 gold deficit.
It's a tough L.
Yeah.
If there's anything behind the drawing board, that's what they got to go to.
Yeah, they fought much better against AP Bren. I don't know what Omega were trying to achieve here. Looking away from Omega, maybe just looking at Twisted, I will just go back to they played it much better. They played that first turtle really well. They handled the second turtle really well. It's one thing that I would have changed for Omega is maybe rethink about how deep they were trying to contest turtle number 2.
Yeah.
Because you could see that they could contest it, but instead of going for a dance, they just threw their bodies, all right, bro, let's fight, let's go. And then that set up everything for Lansu with the Dark Wave and Flicker. And then for the Raging Sandstorm, it was just sad.
Yeah. And that's, so they are going to be going to the blue side for our game 2 here. And it is going to be expanding rivers that we see picked up. This is, again, the trend we saw last week, opening day. And I don't know, I almost think, depending on how well we see banned out here through the draft of game 2, maybe they go the same route a lot of teams have and just go with the Valentina first pick on the blue side. And maybe that helps them kind of build out their game plan from here, because that was our main stipulation from the last time draft, was just in game 1 draft, it was like you've got one idea, and if it doesn't work, you're done and dusted. And that's exactly what happened and why it was 11 and a half minutes basically for that game 1. So I think not only that, but you need to be able to let, I know we've seen Ryzen, for example, play these kind of utility heroes before, but you saw how targeted the bans were towards Ryzen. I'm just wondering if he's going to be able to go ahead and secure him a hero that allows Ryzen to do what a lot of people are used to seeing him do.
Yeah, I mean, okay, to be fair, I don't want to knock the Fredrin. I think the Fredrin is a very solid pick. That's why I looked at their draft and say, hey, you know, there's a bit of a silver lining there. You have the Fredrin. We know what the Fredrin does, what it wants to do. I think Omega just faltered under their own, I don't know, was it their decisions, their expectations early on in the game?
Yeah.
Did Perks Ziva didn't expect to get taken down with so much damage by the Valentina Khalid when we've seen it so many times since last season? A lot of questions up in the air for them.
That combo is such a whiplash, I feel like.
Yeah.
Every single time, like, you see it, or just a Valentino, especially with the Khalid, people are like, whoa, never mind. I will respect that damage.
So is that what Smart Omega trying to do? Coach Wara banning specifically to try and get a blue 1 Valentina. Is that going to work? Is that going to fly for Cap Minguin?
I feel like one of the biggest reasons why the Valentina worked in game number 1 is because same vibe. I think Omega overthought their mid lane pick. Hence why they ended up with the Kimmy Red 4. Again, it makes sense because it pairs up with a Fredrin, but again, you were missing a lot of that utility. I think that's also one thing lacking greatly from the Omega lineup from earlier, is utility. So I hope Omega doesn't forget about that. As good as damage is, even if you look at Twisted Minds, there's a good mix of utility and damage. Speaking of damage, holy crap, they just locked in the Freya right away. Flexible, it can go XP or gold.
They're not listening, Renmar, because they can't hear us. And I guess their conversations in the dugout go a different way. Maybe they're saying, we can go faster. That game 1 draft was waiting on Neski too long. Neski, you're online now. They get it again!
They get it again. The combo again. Was the Freya worth this, Renmar? The trade that they took, the Freya first pick.
Well, it really depends on how Perks and Minguin will handle the center of the map again, because the tendency for Freya Gold, if this is a Freya Gold lane, is that will run from the gold lane all the way to the first turtle. And then they build their advantage to there.
But if you can't run to the turtle, you're kind of useless.
Yeah.
And the way to get the turtle runs through mid, which is owned by Lansu and Sean. Oh, by Kaloy and Sean. Lansu's going to be there, but, you know, I'm just saying, Minguin gets to give me again.
These are greedy first picks for Omega. It's like they're covering their bases in terms of damage and then just adjusting in the end, like, okay, maybe we need a little bit more of this, but it ended up lacking utility. This is a greedy start by Omega. I'm not the biggest fan of it.
I think it's more of the line of, we want more options than what we had in the first draft, so let's just go more damage.
Yeah, but then you lose focus. It's like if you have all the options in the world, how then do you decide in game of like what to play for, what to play towards?
Yeah, that's why my biggest question mark here for the lineup for Omega is what are they going to pair up with the roam here? You can see there's two focused roam bands on the last second phase there for Twisted, which with the Hylos and the Marcel. There's still some, I feel like there's still some good picks they can go for Omega. Claude's going to be taken out, so gold lane is to question here for Twisted. Maybe they pick that up here, or still, and leave up to the question of what is the jungle going to be. But back on the roam side, for Omega, what would make this lineup better, these first three picks?
I mean, when it comes to the best roamers, you're stuck with a Pylos or a Gatot. I don't want to see them pick up. Oh, what I did not see that coming. Okay. First time Chip's going to get picked up this season.
What if Netsky doesn't have to cross the river? What if he just gets there?
Hop through a portal.
That's true.
Okay, now I'm starting to see some ideas here. Omega.
Perks calls in the Bifrost.
Yeah. I mean, the tough thing is it's still going to be a difficult trade in the mid. But then if you can just, you know, temper that, don't get your flicker forced out or anything.
You just don't fight.
Yeah, just don't fight. Just, play like Chip, man. Just relax. Take it slow.
Munch down.
Yeah, munch down on some chips.
And the Lapu Lapu?
Yeah, and it's a gold lane Freya. Okay, this is going to be weird because you don't want to be chill and relax with your comp. You want to play this fast. They do have basic attack and Kimmy in the end, but now you're up against a Leomord. So now it goes back to the idea of Omega. It feels like they're getting dragged between multiple schools of thought of like, how do you want to play this? Do you want to be more calculated, play it slow, play through the chip? But you have a Lapu Lapu in your EXP lane and a gold lane Freya. Do you want to play through your side lane? It's like, they're overloaded again.
I think it's completely in contrast to what they could do in game one, though. So maybe that's going to work in their favor if they can make it work for them, having all those options, all those possibilities that could happen with this kind of draft. Because yes, this will be the first time that we see Chip come through in Season 17, who is still one of those roamers where you don't see too many teams pick it up. That's one of the things. It's more of a niche kind of preferred hero for certain players, certain teams in the league right now. But also having that Freya, having the Suyo and stuff there, that damage profile that they bring to the table could help them. And then Lapu Lapu, though, his main responsibility is like tanking up a ton of that damage to be able to get the crowd control off if he can. And so that's what Renmar's saying here. There's just so many things that this lineup can do, and we'll see if they're able to pull it off here. We jump into game 2 of this best of 3 series on our opening day. Let's see if we can go to a game 3.
In before the action unfolds, Omega doing well to not engage the very high damage output duo. Yeah. But also, we're down to one hero just basically being peeled. That's the Lapu Lapu. Chip can't do that. Chip is like a Hilda who has to weave in and out.
Yeah. Really just time your enhanced basic attack, so little stunts that he can dish out.
Initiate, then get out.
And then get out. I feel bad for James in this one, man. He has so much on his plate. His timing, Omega picked a really difficult road. It's not impossible, but again, it's...
They do jump down on the Kaloi!
Good start.
First blood drawn by Rice and the Barangay come alive.
Yeah, good start. So they learned from the initial trade from game number 1, handled it much better. Now they deliver the first death on the Kaloi.
Owl has the flicker, using the damage reduction from that shield. In comes Perziva trying to cancel it. Jumps down on the carry and they go! Another kill! Down goes Owl.
And that is a great start to what Omega needs to do with this kind of lineup that allows them to go ahead and make plays like that. So way better than game 1. You have now some momentum. It's not anything crazy this early on, but it should definitely put you in a better position for the first hurdle.
This is why my analytical theme for this series is balance. Omega showed balance in the start of this game number 2. First, they played defensive. We're not going to fall for the same tricks against Akali Valentina again. And then when they found a really good opening, as greedy as it looked, despite being under tower, it was the perfect tower dive to take down Owl early. Now can they convert that into turtle wins through James?
Twisted Mind, first of the scene. Chopping that turtle down to about half health. Perziva looking for an engage. There's the Spanish Steed, MP the King, a little too dangerous, a little too hot underneath. Flicker jump in, Sean very low, Sean too deep, down goes Ming with Lantu finds him. And MP focusing on that turtle, down goes Sean, 1-for-1 trade, Ryzen in deep into that pit, takes down that turtle. and trades for Kaloy. And MP the King gets taken up by Netsky. Oh no, the Valkyrie finds one more, and Lanzu jumping in. Netsky's not done with him. Another Infernal Pursuit, and Netsky keeps on going. Netsky versus Lanzu. Why can't him and Ryzen take him down?
Oh my goodness, and they're still going. They're still going to duel it out. So Lanzu backs off. Meanwhile, the whole time, Owl was farming the gold off that turret. Well, then he gets punished.
Appreciate the recovery of Omega from that game number 1. And to answer the question of how come Lanzu didn't die there, hey man, Freya has little micro dashes built into her kit. So the longer that fight on, the longer Lanzu can keep jumping on them.
And he keeps procking shields.
Yeah, he keeps procking shields. He keeps procking that little enhanced basic attack shoulder tackle. So now Twisted Minds needs to find some semblance of control here to slow things down. But it's easier said than done up against a lineup again that has a chip that is now playing very well because they take their early game condition. So how will Kaloy and Sean then control the river and try to read the rotations of this chip is the biggest question for Twisted Minds. Because now Owl needs help catching up. In game number 1, it's Nesky on his cloud. Now it's Owl on this carry. How can you get him more farm?
I think Owl, you know, given the fact that he's died twice, if I remember right, he's not too far behind gold-wise just because he was able to go ahead and stay down there and get some of that gold off the turret. But that's the thing, if he continues to die and get focused down on, then yes, he's going to be, it's going to be much longer for him to get online on this carry here. And so that's going to be up to Twisted Minds on how they continue to rotate and deal with these objectives. Because, wow, look at the damage!
Just taken down, 1v1 by Ryzen.
Clean, man. That was clean. 3-0 win 3, and I'm starting to feel like we're heading into game number 3 with the momentum that Omega's going on. It also depends on how well Netsky can handle the next objective fight, which he will most likely join. Chip and Freya gold lane. It's, wow, crazy. It's a great combo.
Yeah, working out really well. Second turtle up. Neither team going to go ahead and focus on it yet. Just grab those buffs here right now.
Yeah, because look, Netsky can drag out the laning phase in the objective fight because he can just join through the portal, meaning that he can slowly deny Owl of even more farm.
Owl's going to make his way. Again, this is expanding rivers. I'm not sure if he's going to fully commit to this, but they might just give this turtle up.
Perks man-to-man defense on the Kaloy, denying a contest. Another turtle goes to the barangay.
Omega can slow down this invade, and good thing that they did. Would have been way too greedy for them to try and go for a steal just for, what, a golem or a beetle. They wouldn't have made it to the orange buff. It would have been countered by Twisted. Oh, in the bot lane!
Another shortcut called in, and that's all the members of the Barangay down bottom in the Y brush. In comes Lanzu, uses that same portal, jumps on the Ryzen. Kaloy looking for it, finds him, shuts down! Ryzen, and that's a man down, another might fall. In comes the Valkyrie's Descent, 2 for none. Twisted Minds get to breathe.
Yikes, massive counterplay by Twisted Minds, and Omega just faltered to their own ambition. No other way to put it other than Twisted Minds completely owned that sequence, saw the shortcut, played cool, calm, collected, and then they immediately got 2 kills after that. Now it's a very even game, and I'm liking what I'm seeing from these two teams. We've seen a great start by Omega, but now Twisted Minds is biting back as well.
Just going back to that term of balance here for this matchup, and it's essentially been evened out at this point. Lanzu just going to go ahead and poke a little bit here as they set themselves up to get in a better position for the next objective when that does. But that's one of the things, again, Chip, even with the shortcut, you can't forget that it can be used against you as well, and that's why that timing, even the way to stay calm and collected with Kaloy, you know, being able to get out with the Raging Sandstorm, then the Flicker, and then buying that time for the team to kind of respond, paid dividends there for them. So now it's Omega trying to get back in control here.
Yeah, 4-0 start for this Phobius, and I wouldn't be surprised if Lanzu, for majority of the team fights, similar to what we saw earlier after Turtle 1, he's just going to keep surviving, dragging fights out, and then Omega are gonna partially realize that, well, hey, we actually don't have enough. Because once Lanzu gets a Radiant Armor, and most likely he will be getting a Blade Armor as well, the damage coming through from this Kimmy and the Freya, the main sources of damage against this Phobius, he's just gonna laugh through it and he's gonna keep fighting.
Okay, here we go. Last turtle of the game up. Kaloy getting in position, providing that vision.
Phantom Seed already by MP, pushing back James and Ryzen, allowing them to rethink their entry into the Turtle Pit. Slight advantage for Twisted Minds, pulling it over. Down to 3/4 of the health. Gotta get soft reset as Kaloy looks for 1.
Oh, they jump in though. Netsky made his way up. They know a crucial ultimate's down. They're just going to blitz it.
That's a quick take by Omega, 100%, 3 for 3.
Just knowing the Phantom Seed was down.
Yeah, Omega also just did not give Twisted Minds any opening and no avenue for MP the King to dash in.
Raging Sandstorm by Kaloy, keeping James down. Gets hit by that Lansu second skill, does not engage.
Well, maybe. Okay, I guess it was just one of those things like, hey, let's see if we can find an opening here, but they could not. So, still slower, more methodical pace. Ryzen now up to a War Axe. As for the gold laners, they're still... Oh. Okay, I thought Kaloy would try to force something out here, maybe perk Ziva. I think that's what
he is.
That's the flicker, and the shortcut, in comes the rest of the barangay. You can almost see the shot call, and Ryzen here drives through that shortcut. Close call could have been kicked down by MP and Sean.
Yeah, sometimes when there's a chip in play, you've got to look in multiple places when things are happening here. So they want to go ahead and get this turret down. They want to take this tier 1 up top. Twisted is just trying to put so much work into this, but Omega's doing a great job at defending up here.
Okay, DXP not that far apart, Gold not that far apart as well. One level ahead is Ryzen. For MP the King's item, still on the way to his second. Already has the War Axe. So it's a slight gold lead here for Ryzen Suyo.
Okay. Well, meanwhile, Owl's been farming up, catching back up into this game here. Divine Glaive now locked in for Sean. This is usually what we see as a second item for the Valentina. So in just a bit, the positioning, the fight for that Lord space is going to be happening here.
Twisted Minds have given up on this tier 1 up top.
Yeah. It just seems like they don't have much of a plan to really do anything just yet. A lot of this has been kind of respecting what Chip can do at the same time, and you don't want to overcommit on that side of the map, especially before this Lord comes up. Now that it's spawned in, so Omega's going to go ahead and just start this up. Are we actually going to see Twisted try to do something?
Another blitz coming through. Lord at a fourth of its health. Kaloy looking for an engage. Ryzen secures. Don't go to the other side. Nevsky with the Valkyrie's descent already. Mingwin very low. The shortcut. He jumps right through it. He gets it. He's saved, but Perk Diva falls. So does Ryzen. Double kill. Great post-Lord take fight by Twisted Minds.
The chip portal actually helped Lansu. He was sending back members of Omega, and just when it got too risky for him, he got out with the shortcut and ended up with the rest of the team. So you actually saw the angle. Twisted Minds were already setting up that post-objective take from the start because of the advanced positioning of Lansu. They knew they wouldn't get that turtle, but they knew that they could get a chance to get kills afterwards, which they did.
Hey, chip happens.
Chip happens.
Sometimes you're like, oh, what? Could have got, Mingwin got away with it, but the rest of them, not really. So this will lead to what? A nothing Lord.
Yeah, basically at that point, you don't really get much off of this Lord. A couple chastised pauldrons picked up now too for Kaloy and Lansu. So this is what we were talking about. Once some of these more physical defense items do get picked up on Twisted, that's going to give them a bit of a way to work with this Freya especially, or even down to the Suyo to an extent here, and even the Kimi. And so part of this is Omega getting what they can. If that's tier 1, tier 2 turrets across the map off that Lord, that's about as good as it's going to get because of the way the fight went.
I think Lansu should keep up what he's doing. He should just really keep going straight for Mingwin once he sees him in the fight.
Yeah.
Because he has ways out.
Whether it's his or Chip's.
Yeah.
Basically. So with this, they lose a couple tier 2s, but Twisted still trying to call them back into this game. They need to open up the map a bit for themselves, but Omega has been doing a really good job at just, even when they lose a couple bodies, they don't really lose control of the game.
Yeah. Question is next for Twisted, when are we going to start feeling Owl? Because at this point, you can only play through Sean, MP, and Lansu so much. You're going to need to get Owl and the carry involved to deal damage and clean things up. Though Omega are losing their main sources of damage or their main frontliner, it seems like without the chip, without the Suyo, it's really just through the Freya and the Lapu and then the Kimi. But then with them not also having the frontline that they need, it's like too difficult to catch up against a carry.
Conceal by Perks, allowing Nesky to run away. Phantom Steed, they all collapse onto Perks Diva. Perks gets that shortcut in, but he gets taken down quick. He doesn't even get to cast it. A lot spent by Omega to save Perks, but Twisted get away with it.
I feel like that was a lot of overthinking from the side of Omega. That should not have happened.
I mean, it's they get a kill. Are they going to get anything off of it?
Netsky 2v1. Outthinker through the wall. Gets jumped on by Netsky. And the Phantom Steed gets called in once more. In comes James trying to protect his gold laner, but Netsky falls. Now 4v1. James backing off. Lansu jumps on him. Mingwin wailing away. Ryzen says we disengage.
Their base turret's getting pushed in too, and now the Lord is up.
Yeah, Omega are slipping, and Twisted Minds are just handed wins back to back. They will get advantage for this Lord, but then MP the King still has to go through his rotations, purple to orange. They can't go for the slow start just yet. Netsky in 10, Ryzen is up. Contestable, but I think Omega should just look for a steal angle while Twisted Minds, they need to blitz it.
No, Perks is here, so they can just bring Netsky to the fight. This is a good look for Omega, I'd say. Give Twisted Minds a false sense of security. Lord at about half health, Mingwin. Still pew-pewing away. Lord gets a soft reset. They gotta respect that shortcut.
Yeah, this is tough for Al too. He doesn't have flicker, so he picked up the wind of nature. So there's gonna be a fight anyway.
Phantom Steed, MP, traction pulse. Can Ryzen survive? He's okay. MP at half health, Mingwin still blasting at Kaloy. Owl holds on to the Lord. Kaloy takes the time, quick sand guard, Netsky escorting a huge wave down bottom. The map belongs to Omega, but the Lord pit still a 50-50.
Omega playing the macro here right now. There's no response other than send Owl there to kind of deal with this wave push. So they held the Lord, and right now Omega has control.
Uh-oh. Lord down to a tenth of its health. There's a Lord secured again by Ryzen. And they collapse on a Sean. Sean falls. Netsky finds him. Pulling with a flicker on out. Lansu tries to push in. Omega finds one. Lansu is out. 3 defenders backing out of here. Omega find a late game turnaround.
Handled that Lord dance really well, considering before that final take, Ryzen was spotted by the members of Twisted Minds, brought to half health, and he had to spell vamp back to full. Great handling of the Lord by Omega. Fantastic macro. Twisted Minds now might end up getting forced for game number 3 here.
Kaloy underneath tier 3 in mid. Drops that quick sand guard on a 3. Not much of a response. Twisted Minds. They're up against the wall here. Sean comes in, no ult stolen. And the rest of Omega will wail away at the base, taking us all the way.
The Bangarang guy go crazy. Despite the, let's say, terrible start to the series, they showed up, and now they force a game number 3. They learned from the lessons of going up against the Khalid and Valentina early on.
Yeah, we can't sugarcoat game 1. But they definitely readjusted here for game 2 and made it happen. And there was a couple moments where it looked like it might slip back in favor of Twisted, but Omega played the macro. As we said throughout the draft, they had multiple options that they could go with, and they played around those options. Sometimes having that chip, having that shortcut worked with them, and sometimes it worked against them. But overall, they were able to go ahead and just choose the right way to play the map against Twisted, forcing them to respond in a way that then gave Omega the advantage when it came to these team fights. And this Lord dance and the way they held this also was just so crucial in the game too.
They solved the Freya paradox. This is one of the reasons why I think Freya has dipped post M7. Teams have learned how to deal with it, crossing the map early on. How about it's able to cross the map over and over again throughout the whole damn game?
Yeah, just have a portal, right? And it makes it so easy. Netsky was present for majority of the kills, 3 kills, 5 assists, and oh yeah, of course he's gonna get the MVP here. The longer the team fights go, you see the influence of the Freya, and well, opposed to Owl's carry,
yeah,
I felt this Freya from minute 1. The carry was a non-factor this whole game. I think you also have to credit that to the chip eventually coming out, because Twisted Minds had to watch out for all the angles the chip can go through, where the portals are gonna be coming out of. They really couldn't commit any resources to making sure that Owl was comfortable. You also have to credit Omega finding those 2 quick early kills onto Owl. After taking down Kaloy in mid, converting that instantly into a, tower dive early on against the gold lane? That was such a smart move to start things off for Omega.
Smart Omega.
Smart Omega. It's in the name.
It's in the name right there. And,
what?
You know, just
Hold the pose.
I thought
camera froze.
Same.
He was just holding the pose.
More players should do that, by the way. Definitely. But yeah, this is the play you were just mentioning. You know, they made quick plays, quick decisions, off that early game. And yeah, it's weird to say because the carry did not feel like a carry at all throughout this game. And it was partially due to the fact that Owl really didn't have that much space to maneuver himself around these team fights.
This is what I was talking about in the pre-match discussion. Rattlesnake Omega, this is the best form that they have always been throughout their history in the MPL. If they're able to draft and play like even they don't know what the hell they're doing, makes you, again, gives you a sense of false sense of security. It's like, all right, I'm gonna try. Oh, never mind, bad idea. This is how they get their first win.
Yeah, and Perk Ziva spent what, a good amount of 2 or 3 seasons learning from Daddy JP himself, with the chip being one of his signature picks. So I like how Perk Ziva was also able to show us his version of how to play this chip, and it's as equally deadly with a team like Omega behind it as well. It's not just go with James, it's just go with everyone. Just go on everyone as well. Just dive, fight, and that's what I was looking for from Omega. In game number 1, we saw that the lineup could have been that, but they just didn't handle the early game well enough. In game number 2, playing through the chip, it's, again, a good balance of you can play macro, you can play micro. It's the best of both worlds with this chip, and Omega were able to make the most out of it.
Yeah, I think a part of that was just, like you also mentioned in the early game there, Renmar, where it was, they took a little more defensive route in the early game by not putting themselves in a position to get bursted down, which allowed them to make the rotations that they did. Like that small minor adjustment changed it quite a bit from game 1 to game 2. And they were able to keep control of this game. And when you look at it, and even for TWIS, when you look across the board here, even down to like MP the King, the way he was using the Leomord, at a lot of times where there's that window when the Phantom Steed is down, Omega did the smart thing, and they really played against that. Like knowing, all right, he's got no Barbiel to help him out, he's got no Phantom Steed, we can go ahead and punish where we can. And also part of that was just their biggest threat, honestly, was mostly Lansu. And they learned how to maintain Lansu throughout the course of the game.
And Joseph, you're talking about that window wherein Phantom Seed is down.
Yeah.
That's a very small window. Impressive how Omega were able to squeeze into that. I'm eyeballing that cooldown. I'd say it's like what? From the final duration, the ending of Phantom Steed, you have 20-something seconds.
I was gonna say like 8, something like that. 18. You're the Leomord, man.
That's what you're playing with. So that's how Omega were able to make that work. How?
Yeah, it's also like a difference in ideas here, because Twisted Minds, now in this game number 2, they decided to overload their utilities, the Khalid, Valentina, Phobius, and they said, hey, let's just adjust our carries. But I think the chip really messed up a lot of the plans that Twisted Minds had. Once that carry showed up, it was an easy chip Lapu pick, although the Lapu came out a little bit slower, or the other way around. And then when the Leomord came out, you're also realizing, wait, gosh darn minute, it's like Leomord also has to watch out for a lot of things.
Yeah.
So there's not much that Twisted Minds could have done to adjust this. Omega outdrafted them.
Chip happens.
Chip happens. But we're gonna throw it over to Odin for an interview before we head to game 3.
MPL Arena, mag-ingay because the Minds at ang buong barangay are taking us to Game 3. But right here with me is a Filipino player na maraming appearances sa ating international tournaments. Welcome to MPL Philippines, Tracy, ang former roamer ng Keep Best Gaming. Batiin mo naman ang ating mga super fans.
Hello po, magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat.
Hello Tracy, welcome. Kumusta ang experience mo dito sa MPL Philippines? I believe first time mo ata dito.
Opo, first time ko po. Parang yung mga matches po nakaka-excite po.
Iba yung energy kapag nanonood talaga ng live, no? Pero anong masasabi mo? Kasi Game 3 ang inabot ng ating dalawang koponan. Ano sa tingin mo ang dapat gawin ng mga teams natin?
Ano po, mag-focus lang po tapos... mag-focus lang po.
Oh, mag-focus lang kayo. Pero Tracy, alam mo, excited kami na first time mo dito. At syempre, gusto ka rin namin mas makilala dahil nga hindi ka naman talaga dumaan sa MPL Philippines. Dumiretso ka ng international. But before that, ano ba yung mga pinagdaanan mo?
Nag-amateur lang po. Tapos nag-Cambodia, tapos nag-China.
Tapos ngayon, nandito ka at sumusuporta sa MPL Philippines. Alam ko, bawal bias dito, pero may sinusuportahan ka bang team?
Twisted Mind po. Game 3, Twisted Mind.
Twisted Minds! Kaya naman nag-iingay ang The Minds ngayon. At alam mo, Tracy, gusto ka namin mas makilala pa. At meron ka ding ipapakilala sa amin. Yung kapatid mo, meron ka daw doon sa MPL.
Yung Nicolette po sa may MMTM.
Marshall Mayhem. So ang alam natin na ang Marshall Mayhem ay taga Iloilo.
Opo.
Taga doon din ba kayo, magkapatid?
Opo, taga Iloilo po.
Okay, batiin mo naman lahat ng mga nanonood sa Iloilo, kahit yung dialect nyo.
Shoutout sa mga taga Iloilo po dyan, lalo na po sa MMTM, mga tropa ko. Good luck po sa inyo, galingan nyo po.
Okay, ano naman ang mensahe mo sa buong MPL PH community?
At pagtuloy lang po na suporta sa MPL page.
Thank you so much, Tracy. It's an honor to have you here. Palakpakan naman natin si Tracy. And with that, alam kong hindi na rin kayo makapaghintay sa match between Smart Omega and Twisted Minds. It's Game 3. Casters, palag na to.
Thank you so much, Odin. And there it is, Tracy, a former member of KDG.
Shit. He would know. He was a former Chinese import. I remember in his time at KBG, he was teammates with Saksha.
Saksha, yeah. For a good amount of time, so we saw KBG in internationals. It was Tracy and Saksha together. And actually, just today, I learned that he actually went through Cambodia. So you see here, there's different avenues now. It's not just like, okay, I'm an amateur player in the Philippines. I'll go through MDL. I'll go MPL. You can really just get scouted out. Being part of the MDL means there's already eyes on you. There's ways for people from other countries to see your game and say, hey, we want to get you for our team. We want him.
Yeah, I think that's great. That's always what I feel like when we talk about the developmental league, the MDL, that's always one of the advantages, but also the advantages, the players like we mentioned coming into here, where they step into the MPL and they get to go ahead and make names for themselves. We've seen that so many times now since the inception of the MDL, which is it 6 seasons now? What seasons are we on? Seventh season of MDL, and it's just a great direction for a lot of the players out there. Now this time, going back to it for Game 3, I think, yes, this one, we finally got to see what Omega could bring to the table. We've evened out the series. This is still going with the trend, the theme that Redmar mentioned. It's the balance. This series has been balanced 1-to-1 across the board. We're going to find out what map we go to, and then find out exactly what the move here is for either of these teams to get their victory.
DGB dubs left, so we're going random.
Yeah. I'm going to twist your expectations here. Now I don't want to see balance, man.
What do you want
I want to see what I love to say, two big, meaty men slapping meat. Like just fighting over and over again. Just play through that.
We're right here.
We're right here.
Now, but you guys can't get drafted in the game. Unfortunately not.
Sadly.
So now I want to see the game equivalent of that. Just slap each other. Just fight.
What a better map to do it than dangerous grass.
Exactly.
You never know where it's coming from.
Because there's danger.
You don't know where the danger is coming from. I mean, I know you cannot completely forgo macro, but if you can honestly just clear lane, leave a few minions, leave the cannon minion so it slow pushes, go to the center, find something to do, I'm happy with that. Because right now with how the flow of the game went is, game number 1 we've already seen a stomp. Game number 2, a little bit more back and forth. Now I just want to see like a full-on fight. But before that, let's look at statements from Ryzen and Netsky.
Yep, these are some quotes from the AG podcast. Shout out to Wolf out there. So we got Ryzen saying,
hold on, you want some real-time AI translation?
Yes, please.
All right.
I choose the Leo voice.
Okay. Cap is so mature, either inside or outside, that when he sees something wrong, he's really gonna hit that.
All right, what about next? Netsky.
Oh, he's really disciplined. He's such a disciplined player. He's so patient when it comes to games, and he can really shot call in mid. He's a really macro-focused player, too.
And that's what they say about Mingwin. Thank you so much to AI Leo. I'm very appreciative
this
of that.
X-Pad is amazing.
The X-Pad is crazy, guys.
It already got your voice like built in as a package.
Well, you didn't know, Redmar? It's got all our voices.
Oh.
Did we sign off on that? Or?
They should have asked first. But you know what? After reading that, it's funny how I said what I said about just looking for fights now.
Yeah.
I want to see aggressive lineups. I don't want to see too slow a pace. They come out with that quote about Mingwin, about him being mature and disciplined. So I don't think I'm going to get my wish in game number 3, man.
Well, if it's not Mingwin, maybe it'll be somebody else.
Yeah.
That's bringing that to the table. Maybe it's Brooks Visa, you know, and maybe they can make that work. But I will say this, even in the sense that James in the XP lane, he's been able to do that. He's been able to start fights up and everything else. Valentina first pick blue side again, now over here. for Twisted Minds.
If there's something I want to see, is Mingwen on a different hero. Because I think this Kimmy, if he ever ends up with a Kimmy again, he's just going to get hunted down. 2 games now, we've seen Sean on the Valentina. He times his entries really well with Lanzo and Kaloy to take Mingwen out. So they take away the Khalid Valentina, pick up the Khalid themselves.
They split up that combo.
Yeah.
I'm okay with this.
I'm okay with it
Good
too.
start.
Twisted, I think it will actually be okay for them to still pick up the Hilda. Hilda Valentina, actually really good theoretically. That's a lot of damage as well. And then you have the Khalid on the other side. Plus the Hilda is actually one of those heroes that it's low-key, but it's one of the heroes that can force early purifies out of the Claude once he goes in with the Blazing Duet.
Yeah.
Throw out a Power of Wildness, you're going to be shocked with the damage. Speaking of damage, okay, they go for the Harley, and they do get the Hilda at the center. I like this pick.
So that's a lot of damage, Redmar, basically.
Yeah.
In these first 3 picks for Twisted. And yeah, Omega will just take up the Phobius.
I'm going to get my wish, man.
You
Once
are.
Phobius locked out, you see the damage from Twisted. You see Omega. Yes, they are going to be playing through a Cloud, but now... Oh, wait, I just realized.
What's that?
Oh, is he really going to end up with a Kimmy again, man?
Mingwen?
Yeah, it might, because you need a secondary carry for the early to mid, because the Claude is going to be a little bit later in the game. Unless they go Ooga Booga map control.
Zetian.
Exactly! Zetian Khalid in the center, man.
Because if you're looking for like big meaty men fighting,
Yeah.
Chinese Phoenix Woman is the one to stop it all.
I was going to say, might as well, right? Unless it's banned. I don't know if Twisted will actually even ban out the Kimmy, for example, or the Zetian, one of those mid lane options.
I think they're confident just running through the Kimmy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They beat it already.
All right, there's a Guinevere.
Oh, that would have been really good in the jungle for Ryzen.
Yeah.
And they'll let through the Fredrin again.
Yeah. Huh. Okay, with the Harley and Valentina, you cannot go Suyo.
They call me a hero.
Okay.
Justin gets taken out. Thinking maybe they can still slot in a Leomord if they're not going to go tanky. But if you're going to go Zetian mid, it's actually encouraged. No. You also want a good balance of damage. But it can't be Suyo.
Okay. Eve was the other thing that I was...
Zetian.
This has to be a Zetian, right?
Yeah, just lock in the Zetian now, pick your jungler later so you can just adjust the best possible pick in the jungle for Ryzen.
Let's say it is a Kimmy. Kimmy gets picked up. I think it could still end up working out for them, but I am worried about Mingwen too. I echo your sentiments here, Redmar, with this. Zetian would just be better too because of obviously the pass, but then even the Fury, the Phoenix would actually go ahead and help provide some of that space for this first 3 picks.
Plus the knockback of Zetian helps the Phobius also. And you can trigger a big multiple man knockback if they dive onto the Zetian, meaning that James has more bar to work with and he can just keep jumping on fools.
So we can really go with James if that's the case.
Jungler later, Omega.
All right, they go Leomord now. I don't know how we feel about the Ryzen
There was
pick.
no rush here. There was no rush. No one was going to steal the Leomord.
Yeah.
But again, no one was going to steal Zetian either. So what makes a Zetian such a volatile pick that they wanted to make sure the coast was clear?
I feel like they're also just thinking about the Valentina, that they don't want to give the Fury of the
So
Phoenix.
they were iffy on the Zetian anyways.
Yeah. Understandable, because if ever the Fury of the Phoenix help rounds out whatever Twisted Minds locks in, then or it could come back to bite them.
Or they were also seeing, hey, the coast clear for the Kimmy.
Yeah.
Ah.
Can we Kimmy again?
I honestly think that, I mean, it could almost come down to even just a comfort thing, and perhaps, I know Mingwen can play more heroes, you know, but it might just be one of those cases. Wow, with Granger being picked up in a glue.
Hey, wait a minute.
No way. Granger's 100%. I mean, he's been picked very sparingly, but yeah.
Wow. They can go for a Necro Keep combo. They can go for the Vixana. That quick stun messes up the Harley, messes up the Hilda, and Vixana messes up Glue.
Glue, yeah. Blow them up.
You blow them up, you bounce out a lot of damage. If it's not going to be Zetian, go for Vixana.
You're only weak against the Harley, really.
Yeah.
And if the Valentina catches you, but whatever.
Oh, that's true. With the Khalid and Phobius, you might actually not have enough peel if you're more backline centric. Just don't pick up the Kimmy. Oh.
All right, that was
called it, baby!
Called
it!
Dark Continent.
That's why they were saving it. Oh my God, Omega! Wow.
I'm clapping for you, Redmar. I'm clapping for you.
He saw it coming.
Yep, that was a great call. Vexana gets locked in the last pick. I wonder who else in the chat knew the Vexana was coming, but it makes sense. You pointed out why it works great, especially against that last glue pick.
But it's dangerous.
It is.
It's risky.
Yeah, he might actually need to build a Winter Crown second item to survive the Harley.
Or a Blood Wings.
Or Blood Wings early on if you want to be a bit more conservative and just still also be able to build defense.
Have something that counts.
Yeah. So the reason why I thought of the Vexana, other than all making sense, this happened to me yesterday in my own rank games.
Oh, did it?
I picked Glue as one of the last picks blue side, and then the last pick was Vexana, and it blowed us up.
No, you got blowed up.
You got blown up. Well, let's see if it works here. We're jumping into it. Our first match of week 2, we get 3 games. We're jumping into game 3 here. Will it be Twisted Minds or Smart Omega that gets the victory here? Both incredible lineups for this last game. We'll see how it all plays apart.
Hey, silver lining for the Barangay. If this works out, then that means they have figured something out in the metagame. They figured out that these weird heroes that we've forgotten can still matter.
Yeah.
Because there's no other option, I think, especially since they banned the Eve, where you could hold a box. And that was their main problem in game 1.
Yeah. Plus, it's going to be harder now once they're all level 4s and Mingwin can burst down the little glulets.
Yeah.
Chinese translation, mini longs. Once those are gone, it's going to be difficult for him to actually get a jump onto someone. He has to be very honest, just keep bouncing on someone and putting those marks up so that he can just latch on to a member of Omega. Because again, we've stated the reasons why this Vexana makes sense. That little stunt that you can dish out with I believe it was Deathly Grasp that it was called, can mess up an entry of the Hilda and the Harley.
It's him with a Terrify and Sean too. So they both have that kind of ranged crowd control.
Yeah, that little bit of time that it buys for both the compositions here. So it's rather kind of just null, you know, in the beginning. Like, you're not going to see too much as most teams wait to get these level 4s available quite around this turtle here. Even in the sense that MP the King's got to be careful of his own entry just because of the way that Grasp does work with Vexana.
Both mid laners not level 4 yet, but with the wave coming in mid, Sean will be able to hit level 4 before Mingwin, who will have to get EXP through the EXP lane.
James not quite there yet. MP the King and Sean putting a lot of pressure. Lanzu already has his grab. Kaloy very low. That's Pertivo jumping in. Kaloy running away with it. MP the King flickers back. Secures it with the retribution. James jumps in. Does not secure it just yet. Uses that flicker. Draws first blood on Kaloy.
Could have been really bad for Omega. Again, Mingwin hasn't hit level 4. Lanzu jumped up on the right time, but in the end, they were able to split up the fight so that the focus of the glue is split up as well. Handled really well by Omega. Twisted Minds, you can't fault them for pouncing on that. It looked like it was going to be really good for them. It was just answered very well.
A little bit of a threat here around the purple buff of MP, but the team is there for him, so he can go ahead and secure it. So he will grab his buff, but yeah, good kind of decision there to deal with that. They go ahead and trade things out, but it's just a kill. It's only a kill over for James as he grabs that. Oh,
Phantom Steed by Ryzen. A stolen Phantom Steed by Sean. We saw this last weekend.
Forcing out the Raging Sandstorm. Kaloy was just swinging away at Perks, who took a lot of damage. So again, Hilda Valentina still hurt. I think Ryzen was able to get the last hit on that golem though. Skypiercer is the rush for Owl. He didn't go through the Fury Hammer route. He went straight for Skypiercer.
Tell you why, man. After that carry game, he's like, I want to play. I want to be in these fights. I want these stacks. And so he goes that route with the Skypiercer.
Which makes a lot of sense. They have burst in their roam mid trio that can set up for Owl to get Skypiercer stacks early on if they can get it.
And this is one of the few times you can in the early games.
Yeah.
Later on, even Ryzen will be hard to pop.
Yeah. Very, again, very, I don't want, it's not passive, but it's just one of these situations where either team has to throw it at each other to fight this out. We might just see more so objective fights because even in a sense, like I said, with MP, he doesn't necessarily want to go for these pickoffs right away on this Harley.
Okay. Twisted Minds are going to get advantage for the turn, but Kaloy will have the vision. Lanzu's going to be playing catch-up with this. Better positioning for Omega.
Oh, they blast Perks, forcing a quick sand guard. James comes in with an Infernal Pursuit. Lanzu running headstrong into that brush. and both teams are able to reposition.
Get on them, Lansu. Just get on them.
Going for Sean.
James jumps on a Sean. Sean very low. MP the King blasts away. Quick sand guard into a raging sandstorm on the park. He gets taken down by Kaloy. Ryzen runs into 3. MP able to space escape on out of there. And there you go. Laz heard you. He's riding James right now. Riding James. And James able to survive.
Perxiva and James were way too aggressive with that start. They thought that they could buy a lot of time so that Ryzen will just be able to freely get the turtle, but the turtle was not low enough. So now the question is, Perxiva and James, why?
Yeah, that was my question. Why? What was going on in that team fight? And so it might ultimately be a reset. We've got Ryzen going and grabbing his purple buff. MP's down pot. The rest of the team is up here around the turtle. So we'll see exactly what they decide to do. There is going to be a push down there for that tier 1. Perxiva takes a couple shots from Kaloy.
Whoa. Put in mind, they're trading the turtle for this push down bottom. And I think Omega have just accepted this and said, let's just lean into it, and MP gets the push down bot.
Yeah, it seems like the presence of the glue was enough. So far we haven't really felt the presence of the Mingguin Vexana pick just yet. But Omega, it's a weird mix of they are being patient, but also taking unnecessary risks. And it's going well for Twisted Minds. They can open up the map. These little victories that they're getting by Omega being a little bit more, you know, sort of mixed with their priorities, is working out very well for them. They can build a big lead through this.
Steed thrown out, but again, it's just Kaloy there. Let's take a look at the items where they're falling into place here this early on in the game.
Okay. Gold laners. Okay, now he's finally building the Fury Hammer Owl, second item. Very close to the goal, so Neski does have the DHS. So both gold laners have a much better time. MP the King has a slight lead over Ryzen, who only has the War Axe now.
Okay. As they kind of find themselves just protecting the tier 1. So Omega looking for their own opening to kind of fight back here. One of the things that you will have to do because you have a Claude in your team is to go ahead and scale up on the Claude. And so you have James up here on that front side of the map to go ahead and help out here. It's so difficult for Omega to actually find a potential pickoff on their own, like starting it up themselves, where most likely they're going to be responding to what Twisted does to them.
Fine, guys.
Oh my Perks! God. And Perks are able to survive, even with Sean flickering forward, smelling blood in the water, but the quick sand guard keeps Perks alive. What was that?
That's huge info. Sean got greedy. I understand why he wanted to do it, but it was right at the edge. Oh, Neski!
Blazing duet on out.
Oh, they balanced it out. Did not expect
moonwalk.
It was. He kind of does moonwalk out when he's blazing duets.
Smooth criminal with it too. At least Kaloy got to balance it out, forcing out the blazing duet from Netski, and they got the tower. So again, the little wins through Omega's passiveness or just getting caught out by Twisted Mind, they're stacking, and now they have a comfortable advantage for Turtle 3. Whoever wins this might actually be set up to win Lord 1.
Sean with a stolen rampaging sandstorm. Checks range, Kaloy gets caught. A lot of damage from those 3. Lansu clearing that Y brush. Kaloy jumps in.
Oh, Mingguin.
Lord still not summoned. Where is the hit? Oh, Mingguin can take it down. Ryzen secures it. The jumping, the stolen raging sandstorm. James jumps in Infernal Pursuit, stack for Owl. All wins so far for Twisted, and they force back the 2 remaining members of Omega.
Ryzen might have been able to get the turtle, but man, they lost so much in that fight.
They didn't have enough to peel for Mingguin. It was way too easy for Kaloy to just go ahead and jump on to that Vexana. Mingguin threw everything, Deathly Grasp, Eternal Guard, and that did not stop Kaloy from blasting him. It was actually a miracle that Ryzen was able to get that turtle, but I don't think there's enough talk between James and Perks.
Oh, gets Netski right in his face! And that's a blazing duet on through. Surprising how Kaloy survived all that. Did Mingguin get to bring out an EG? Did it get melted that quick?
Yep, it did earlier on.
Yeah, earlier on he used it, but I think Renmar, he echoed this in the draft. He was worried that Mingguin would just get focused on and blown up. And that's basically what we've seen. I know he's only died once, but if you're seeing it happen in these team fights, he's focused so hard.
Yeah, and as expected, he's going for a Winter Crown second item. That's the main choice he got. But it's a tough call right now for James and Perxiva to decide who's going to be staying back to help peel for Mingguin. I think it has to be the Phobias. But the problem is, Oh, Prexiva might not be able to buy enough time. Eternal Quick's Handguard can only heal him. And there's still a lot of damage coming out of Twisted.
Oh, James jumps on the Kaloy. Pressuring MP the King. Do something! Forcing a space escape from MP. Prexiva spent his Raging Sandstorm to do that.
Yeah, to do that, to try to get something to happen, doesn't happen at all. And now you have a Divine Glaive on Sean. Sean's been able to go ahead and just, I feel like, poke even more than what we've seen from the Vexana from Mingwen here. Just allowing him to go ahead and utilize the ultimates that he decides to take and set things up. So now that the Lord is up, I don't know, man. Based on what we've seen from Omega, they haven't been able to really win these team fights they're looking for. There's the winner crown. It's picked up. Maybe a bit of defensiveness will help them get in a better position here, but you can see Netsky's clear over on the other side of the map. He's going to go ahead and clear that. Hopefully he doesn't get caught out here. Look at the positioning from MP. At least gets the information, and now they'll go ahead and try to fight for the positioning here as they make their way for this Lord.
Great proactive map management by Twisted, and Omega's taking a lot of hits.
Prexiva, very low, doesn't get the click that Quick Vanguard and flickers back.
He had to defensively use that. There was no way if he stayed there. But now with that gone, Twisted might look to still continue to punish here. Omega's so clumped up too. They have to be careful on how they approach this fight.
Loy and Lansu, Omega looks like they have no answers for this Hilda and Glue early on. Even if they're trying to provide space and peel for Mingwen, it forces them in a very defensive position that collapses onto the Vexana. But it's great for the Glue, it's great for the Valentina and the Granger, making them make it easy for them to land poke shots.
Whoop, man-to-man defense, James on Lansu. Prexiva very low again. Phantom Steed by Ryzen. They're just focused on the Lord. How are they gonna get this quick knockup? There goes that skate shot, find him. Ryzen secures, and James can't survive as he walks into Owl's bullets. 2 deaths for Omega, but they get the Lord.
They spaced out well enough for Ryzen to miraculously find some space to get the retribution on the Lord. But Twisted Minds will get the push out in mid, and I think it's going to be one of those Lords that will easily be cleared up by Twisted Minds once it comes out for Omega, and it will be.
Yep. Lord spawns. Twisted continues to take down some of these turrets. They hold it there. Let's see if there's something that Smart Omega might try to do. They pull the Lord in the jungle, they take care of it, it's cleared out, they'll take some buffs on their way unless Ryzen can secure it. That he does. You know, again, you're seeing how much work it takes Ryzen for the objectives. Even that Lord earlier on, he had to be able to go ahead and get that timing just right to secure themselves the Lord, but even so, they have other issues to worry about right now. And you saw what happened. They wanted to blitz that Lord when they saw MP the King up top trying to clear that wave, and they just barely made it here. So we'll see if that's enough adjustments. I think part of this too is for Netsky. You know, he's got the Trinity locked in now. He's working on his next defensive item. I think he's going rose gold here, potentially lock that in just to have some of that sustainability through the magic damage because he needs it.
It is going to be a rose gold. Also, next up for Mingwen, it's either going to be the Lightning Truncheon or straight to the Divine Glaive, just so you have that burst right away. But Kaloy and Lansu have been taking the damage in stride. Omega, slow push out of the map, but Twisted Minds just traded out in the bottom for a second tower. And now Omega needs to go back. Uh-oh. Okay, he's fine, he's fine.
Netsky's going to be fine here. He has had to do so much work at farming up on this Claude, but he should be there. I mean, granted, imagine this kind of lineup you're up against, and he's only died once. That is pretty good for him because of just how much potential there is to die, especially with a Harley across from you and the rest of this lineup. Owl has been able to go ahead and get a couple stacks too on the Sky Piercer, but it's more so just what they're able to do. Yep.
2 layers of protection from Mingwen.
Mingwen needs it.
Full utility protection for the Vexana. Might not be enough damage. I don't think it will be enough damage.
It's enough damage to pop those longs, but not enough to take down the actual front line you're looking at clean up for TWIS.
And this has been the problem for Omega. It's like they're getting small wins, but they can't get a big definitive win because the front line of Twisted Minds are way too tanky.
Oh, James gets threatened here by Kaloy. Ryzen calls in, but the answer, front line, there's the Eternal Guard. Kaloy camps into the small brush. In comes Lansu. He can't find a ride, can't mount. And Ryzen is going to lose the Phantom Steed here. And Sean steals it on the way out.
All right, a whole lot used there. But that's exactly what you guys were talking about. There just wasn't exactly the enough damage to turn that in favor. And yeah, Nevsky utilizing his Blazing Duet there and the Flicker, so they don't have that. James as well, that's down 2, and Lord is up now.
Let's get on brass tacks. Omega lost that trade. Lantu's Flicker for James and Netsky's.
2 big ultimates used, but battle spells utilized. Oh, Twisted Minds are going for the blitz. Soft blitz. Oh, no. They're slowing it down. Slow it down.
There's a real Phantom Steed coming through. He executes it one more time, but at the cost of Persiva. He trades for MP, rising very low, gets mounted and gets taken down by Kaloy.
Ooh, the secure again. Ryzen is keeping Omega in this game.
Mean Dean is keeping Omega alive here. He's somehow finding these little angles of freedom within the Lord pit. It's just retry. Easy take for me. But now with this Lord marching forward, Perziva and Ryzen will be back. Slower push out. Twisted Minds look to meet them somewhere in the top lane, seeing if they can stop this Lord from making it to the turrets.
See if they're able to do that. Lord's going to be worked on it now. Omega wants to give that Lord a bit of a space so he can actually turn some of this in their favor.
It hurts.
Kaloy will take a couple of shots. We'll see if they can even get that mid-tier 1 turret down. It hasn't fallen just yet, so Omega, at this point, they just want to get what they can here, playing with this Lord as it charges into the tier 2 up top.
From the right, Kaloy protecting that entry. Perziva taking too much damage. Survives with about 1 HP as the Lord takes down that tier 2.
I think that was a breath of relief from Perziva. I don't think he expected that he'd get out of there with just an inch of health left on his Khalid. So looking at the items, actually built the Malefic Gun Netsky, knowing that because of a lot of close range bursts that can be dished out by Twisted Minds, he wants to be able to create a little bit of space for himself, considering that Omega need to commit a lot of utilities to creating space for their Vexana. So great itemization by Netsky. It's a little thing that might actually have a big impact later on.
Yeah, and with that, they look for the next play here for Omega to potentially finally swing things in their favor. It's all been Ryzen for the past 2 Lords now to keep them in this position where they bought themselves enough time. And now Twisted definitely going in with a different game plan, a different angle. Oh, this could be a deadly bush here for Kaloy.
I wonder if Kaloy can sniff it.
Kaloy
walks in and gets caught by everything that Omega can throw at him. Flickers out. He lives.
The deathly grasp of Minguin, I think it missed. That extra inch of Terrify actually would have bought them the time to take down Kaloy, but it just did not land.
What was it, an anticipatory Deadly Grasp? Did he aim it towards where he thought the Hilda would go?
It was where the Hilda was coming from, because it ended up closer to the pixel bush that Kaloy walked out of when Kaloy was already in front of the death bush that Omega set up.
So it's behind.
Yeah,
Did
it
he
was
expect
behind.
the Hilda to backstep?
Yeah, I'm leaning towards that too. He was thinking that maybe Kaloy would go for the little 2-step back and forth, but no, he just went straight for it. But still, they burnt the Flicker out of the Hilda. Could be counted as a win.
Very small win. Lord's coming up here in a couple seconds.
Very small.
Sean also holding on to the EG. He's got his own internal guard. I'm not sure if he's going to switch things up, but might be utilizing some of that little bit of crowd control that comes with that. As Lord is started up by Netsky, but this isn't going to be a full commit just yet as Omega fights for the space here. We'll see if Ryzen can replicate what he's done for the past 2 Lords as Lord evolves. Now that we're past the 18-minute mark, Twisted trying to get in position.
Okay, Perziva spent his quick sand guard. So Twisted Minds have this window. James jumps in, forces a spot from MP. MP gets taken down, and underneath that pit, Al gets a stack. Down goes Netsky, down goes James. Lansu with the mount. Gonna get that reset. And Lansu sees Perziva get out of there. What a trade! Out of nowhere, Twisted are up!
Everyone jumped, but everyone clumped for Sean and Al to just deal burst damage AoE. And Omega were not ready for that. James and Netsky get taken out immediately.
Oh, Lansu looking for the mount on the horizon. Can Barbiel save him? And he finds out! He leads into the fight! Gets taken down by Sean. One for one. Kaloy looking for that jump onto Perziva. Perziva flickers out. And he gets mounted by Lansu. Lansu's on him, riding him. Underneath tier 3, he gets a quick sand guard.
Last season, it was Sean on a Kimmy. This season so far, it's Sean on a Valentina.
Yeah.
Too good with it. Great timing, the terrifies from those little shadow strikes that he can dish out. They've been able to make the most out of it. Not even full item build just yet, but he is up to a Divine Glaive and the Lightning Truncheon. Divine Glaive for the counterpart in the Vexana. Full items already for the jungles. It is just boiling all down to who can pop immortalities first and who can build that advantage first. Now that's another thing Omega need to watch out for. When they go in for the dive, Netsuke and James, they have to watch out again for the burst that we've been mentioning all throughout, through Sean and MP the King, but also now count Owl's burst damage that is there for him. Radiant armor just picked up by Lansu.
Oh no, is he going to be in trouble? James trying to get away.
Down to a tenth of his health, gets mounted by Lansu. A lot of damage coming in. Can he survive? Brings him the long way around. And one more hit! James gets taken down by Lansu. A disaster for Omega, but they look to punish Kaloy. Lansu gets on out of here. And they both pop. Down goes Netsuke. Immortality out on burst, and he gets taken down. Owl gets a double. Ryzen and Mingwin left inside their base.
They have a wave pushing down at mid, and Mingwin and Ryzen are left alone on the defense here. Can they stay in the game?
Mid tier 3 gets taken down. Phantom Steed by Ryzen just to clear these waves. MP the King space escape in. No waves. Twisted Minds shift their vision over to the Lord.
No minion waves. Omega still in this. One of the biggest problems now is how are they going to find a good timing for Netsuke to entry with the Blazing Duet. Kaloy's power of wildness, the ultimate of the Hilda. He's been single-handedly messing up Netsuke's entries. And then Sean just caps it off. Free Lord for Twisted.
Netsuke's not even part of the equation. He's still 5 seconds off of spawning as Twisted score. Get this, their first Lord in this 21-minute game.
And that's why Ryzen just called on the Phantom Steed and gave him a thumbs up there. Like, yep, all right, you guys got this one. And now they have to defend against this. There is a potential here for Omega to go ahead and clear this out, keep things under control. The only tower right now down is that mid turret in the base. We'll see if they make it work. A Winter Crown available for Netsuke. He knows he's probably going to need it for this base push from Twisted. They've got to deal with the Lord first. Here's a conceal play from Twisted. How are they going to push it?
Looking for targets. James popped very low. Space escape. He will survive as he gets into the fountain. Lord getting taken care of by Omega. They will clear it, but they will lose their tier 3 down bot. Top lane up next for Twisted. Up 6,000 gold. Quick up on Netsuke as he gets hit by the Eternal Guard, stolen away by Mingwin. Kaloy traded out for. Bottom lane waves coming through. 3 defenders for Omega. Make that 2 as Mingwin can't stand the heat. And now Ryzen is just pushing in, trying to turn this. Just taken down, but traded out for a shot, and that's it. Twisted Minds take the series.
They will not start off the season 0-3. Kaloy with the hype, with the words, and Twisted Minds with the victory.
Netsuke got blown up. I don't think he was even expecting that in that last fight there. And once they lost him, Twisted Minds knew exactly what they had to do there as they get the victory in the series at 2-1.
It looks like we're looking at a new winning formula for Twisted, gentlemen. Valentina and Harley together.
Harley, man. Popping up and so many compositions.
And what's so amazing about it is they're both good in isolation.
Yeah.
Twisted Minds can make either work. Twisted Minds gets the dub, but I don't know if you'll agree with me, Smart Omega have found something even in this L. They learned something. Something here clicked.
No. It feels like it's one of those teams right now early on in the season where it's just like, okay, we see the vision. You're not fully there just yet, but maybe slight tweaks here and there. Unfortunately, the Claude for Netsuke really wasn't felt here as much, but you can't blame it because look what he's up against. This is the threat that we discussed in the draft. Every time he would want to enter, there are 4 heroes that mess you up, whether it's through control or very simple one-tap button damage. That it's no surprise that Netsuke's Claude here struggled.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It was, in a portion of the game, it was great that Netsuke didn't die multiple times because you just saw how overloaded it could be for him on the Claude. And that's why I think even in the last base push there, you saw how fast he died, you know, and he had a Winter Crown. He couldn't even use the flicker there. So we got to throw it over on stage to hear for our winning interview with Twisted. Let's go over to the stage.
And it's Twisted Minds denying a reverse sweep. Their first match win. Palakpakan naman natin ang Twisted Minds.
Odin, Twisted Mind really did twist that Game 3 to get their first win of the season. They're finally in the winning slate. Congratulations beside me, MP the King. MP, 3 games in, you finally got your win. Tanungin ko lang, ano yung pinaka naging challenge nyo ngayong season so far?
Siguro yung pinaka naging challenge namin this season, yung mga sarili lang din namin. Kasi ramdam namin bago magsimula yung season, parang hindi kami sobrang committed sa ginagawa namin.
But now, can you talk about that commitment? Gaanong ka-committed na ngayon ang Twisted Minds?
Siguro sobrang committed na, parang natawan kami after week 1. Ayaw namin na matapit si Kirk.
Okay. Nakita natin na si MPA talagang pinibigay na ang power ng kanilang team ngayon. But beside me is Kaloy. Kaloy, yung game 1 nyo, sobrang landslide na nangyari kasi sobrang laki ng gap when it comes to kills. I think that is 16-2. Sobrang ganda ng simula nyo. What was going through your mind during game 1? Feel nyo ba kayo yung mananalo talaga sa serye na to?
Ano po, parang inisip lang po namin manalo, parang pa-momentum lang po bukas kasi may laban po sa Aurora.
Okay, so parang yun yung pinanghawakan nyo kahit natalo kayo nitong game 2 and taking into game 3, ang ganda na ginagawa ng Hilda mo Sino nagsha-shot call sa inyo doon?
Sila Anso po basta sabi niya sa akin, nawakan ko lang yung post score nila
Okay, good game plan ang nangyari sa kanila ngayon, Denise. Pero gusto ko rin tanungin ngayon si Owl. Owl, hello, welcome back sa MPL Philippines. Ano ba yung pakiramdam na nagbabalik ka na sa stage na to?
Siyempre, masaya. Pero sobrang daming challenges. Kailangan, ano ba yun? I-overcome.
Ba't natatawa ka na? Nakapag-adjust ka na ba doon sa buong team nyo, sa chemistry nyo?
Sobrang dali lang mag-adjust sa team kasi sobrang yung marami kaming banding sa team.
Mukhang nagbabanding nga kayo. Talagang natutuwa si Kaloy pag nagsasalita ka.
Ito naman, si Sean. Sean here, guys.
Sean.
We know you had a stellar rookie season. Pero for this season, ano naman yung gusto mong patunayan?
Gusto ko lang talaga patunayan ngayon na malakas talaga yung Twisted Minds na kaya namin mag-EWC this season.
At napatunayan nila yan. First win of this season. Ano pa yung mga dapat naming expect sa inyo throughout this season?
Expect nyo lang sa amin na mas marami kaming lason na baon, tsaka mag-ready na yung team sa amin.
Grabe ka na talaga, Sean. Alam mo, siya talaga yung isa sa mga players na inaabangan natin every time na kakausapin natin ang kanilang team.
And now, it's time to look at our screens. Sino kaya ang MVP for this match?
And that's you, Lansu! Mukhang gana yung mga shot call mo this match. Lansu, what can you say sa lahat ng mga sumusuporta sa Twisted Minds?
Salamat po sa mga pumunta. Gagalingan pa po namin lalo.
And with that, let's give a round of applause once again to Twisted Minds.
I cannot stress this enough, Odin. As they take their walk of victory, grabe, yung naging last game natin. At kanina, they promised right in front of their fans, mas gagalingan pa namin this season.
And we've seen that right before our very eyes. Gusto talaga nilang makip yung momentum dahil nga aabangan daw natin ang laban nila bukas. But bago tayo tumungo sa mga kaganapan na yan, balikan muna natin what happened in the Land of Dawn kasama ang ating mga casters.
Thank you so much, Odin and Denise. And again, congratulations to Twisted Minds there and also to Lansu, the match MVP. We'll find out who Game 3's MVP is in just a second here. But yeah, I think Lansu was an integral part of that success for them winning the series here. There's the MVP for Game 3, none other than Sean, 4-1-12. For this Valentina pick, Redmar, we talked about it through the draft. We talked about how this is becoming more of a trend here and talk about the impact this had for Game 3.
I think this is something we have to watch out for now, not just for Twisted Minds, but for the drafting pattern of a lot of teams prioritizing Valentina. It's been a long time since we've seen Valentina getting rushed as the blue 1 pick. I think we haven't seen this since like Season 10, Season 11, where we consistently saw it. So let's see if the other teams will pick up on it. And does that now mean that Sean has been the MVP for all of Twisted Minds winning games? He also got MVP in Game 1, didn't he?
On the same hero.
On the same hero was also the Valentina. And it was during the interview, it was Kaloy who mentioned that it was shot caller Lansu who told him one simple thing: stick on the Vexana. That's why we also saw that Mingwin's impact here was diminished greatly, because the Hilda just kept going after the Vexana. And Twisted Minds knew that they could afford that because they had the glue anyway to be the substitute roamer frontliner for the rest of the squad.
I think when you look at these highlights here specifically, you can just see how, you know, because we talked a little bit about Sean in the pre-panel too, and it's just like, again, he's an amazing player. We saw this especially in his rise and then getting the season rookie MVP from season 16. And he's improved. I could say that. Like, his improvement is still apparent here already in 2 weeks into the season. And one thing that's definitely true is this team likes to play around every role, every lane. That's what I was talking about. Neski getting blown up there. He didn't even get a chance to use his flicker or the winter crown, but that's the thing. I think Twisted, you heard how hungry they still are, and that's something that continues to be in this squad as they continue to go through the season. I can't wait to see what more developments they get.
Which is impressive, because the story was, as they debuted in the MPL, they built their play around MP. If you guys didn't know, there was no other jungler they were going to have with them going into the big leagues. But now, as Joseph mentioned, it's good to see them kind of learn how to play around each other.
Yeah. They've grown into a newer identity. Granted, it's so far only up against Omega, and they did acknowledge that they really wanted to get this win because they want to set up for their match against Aurora tomorrow. I think that will be the first true litmus test to see where exactly Twisted Minds are at early on in the season. But I like what they saw. Hopefully they keep this momentum going throughout. As much as we want to see also Nausea get a chance to play, they already got a win with Owl. They're going up against Aurora. At least continue that momentum that they have.
You know what's weird? In a lot of my social media content, a lot of people are saying Nausea's better. What about now? What about now?
Yeah, it's Owl who got that win. Most damage dealt here. And Twisted Minds are the first team to declare their intention. 3 letters they're eyeing out for. EWC.
EWC.
Esports World Cup. MSC. They're the first team this early on to say that straight up. We want to go there. We're confident that we can go there.
At this point, I think any of the teams here in the MPL Philippines are contenders to get there. We know how it's been, though. We've even seen this before with Twisted. Yeah. They started half the season off very, very strong, and then they kind of faltered a bit. And we've seen teams do the opposite, where they're in a position where Omega is right now. Yeah. And they've been able to go ahead and make the adjustments they needed to then have a great playoff run in the season. So I think there's something that I kind of expect for all the teams here in the league is to have that goal of EWC, but really just focusing on each match first, starting there, getting what they need to. And I think that's going to be a big debate all around, guys. Like, there's multiple teams that have these kind of multiple options in terms of their rosters that they can bring to each game. And that is always going to cause a discussion. I love the discussion, by the way, that we have like in our official MPL groups and from our fans out there and the super fans for the specific teams. I just, we got to keep it healthy. We got to keep the discussions healthy for the different players, of course, out there.
I think it's still healthy. No one's like lambasting the other option for these positions. Yeah. I'd like to just say, I hope it lights a fire underneath these players, because I'm used to seeing Nausea. I want to see Nausea succeed too, but hey, for now, Cali, Owls got the dub.
I think, again, there's a lot left that the teams want to go ahead and show us, especially Twisted and Omega. But before that, we also need to go ahead and listen on how this winning moment sounded for Twisted Minds.
Sumusugal. Try nyo nga, pre. Double to. Dahil ingat lang, ha? Okay lang. Try nyo lang. Try nyo lang. Di ba kapasok sa amin to? Pre, bilisan nyo na lang, pre. Lord lang. Pwede na. Okay na. Nice one. Tapa. Ay, trabahong malinis na lang dito, ha? Player na po, bis, pre. Kalid po, bis, ha? Pagtabis ba ya? Ay, kalit sa likod, kalit. Okay, paulan na lang. Paulan lang, pre. Paulan lang bala, pre. Tigil ng kalit, pre.
Tingnan sa akin, ha?
Tap nga.
Patay.
Side tower. Patay ako, ha.
Pabis nga.
Big sana, pre. Baka sumagot, pre. Big sana. Nice, bro.
Kalma lang.
No mode. Pre, no mode. Tower lock.
And that was our Infinix mic check there. Great to hear them. That was intense. That was emotional.
Yeah. Kaloy. Fired up.
Hey, I love to see it.
Impassioned.
You know what?
MPL is back, baby.
Man, I hope we get to see more and more of that because I'm sure they feel great about the win because they needed that, and it's still early in the season, but we'll see if Omega can readjust before their next matchup. Now, that's our first match of week 2. Already getting 3 games. Again, it's been us, the We Bear Bros, me, Naisu, Leo, Renmar. We still have one more match, so we'll see you guys for that one. But first, let's go ahead and...
Maraming salamat, casters, sa paghatid ng 3 laro na punong-puno ng aksyon para sa ating unang serye. Indeed, an explosive way to start our Week 2 as Twisted Minds and Smart Omega take us to Game 3. Indeed, a twist of fate para sa Twisted Minds since they also get their first match win for the season. This is your very own Odin reporting on the side to tell you what is also happening outside our region. Ngayon naman ay pag-uusapan natin ang MPL Indonesia na ngayon ay sinisimula ng kanilang liga para sa Season 17. Today, the Filipino imports are also taking over at una na lamang dyan para sa unang araw is Coach Wynot, Andoryu, and Okir para sa Team Navi kontra sa RRQ. At mamaya naman ay aabangan din natin ang laban ng former teammates and former Kings of Sea na RSG Philippines. It's Coach Panda and Eman na maglalaro ngayon para sa Bigatron by Vitality at kakaharapin nila ang pinag-usapan din naman na M7 runner-up na Alter Ego. At bukas naman, ang pinaka-inaabangan nating debut sa Indonesia ng ating gold standard na si Kelra at kasama na dyan si Kyrie para sa ONIC at kakalabanin naman nila ang RRQ. Isa na namang Royal Derby ang aabangan natin bukas sa MPL Indonesia. At balik naman tayo dito sa Pilipinas dahil hindi pa natatapos ang mga aksyon na para sa unang araw ng Week 2. Mamaya lamang ay aabangan naman natin ang ONIC Philippines kontra sa TNC Pro Team. Kaya huwag kayong aalis dahil magbabalik ang MPL Philippines Season 17.
super family known for their chemistry, their camaraderie, and winning culture, led by the newest import of the Philippines, is looking for revenge, not only from last week, but also against the team that dropped them off in the playoffs. The Phoenix Army, with a new face at the middle. Maligayang pagdating, pagbabalik dito mismo sa tahanan ng pinakamalalakas na Mobile Legends Bang Bang players sa buong mundo. This is MPL Philippines Season 17 here at the Filipino broadcast. It is Hans Galeria, joined by Joshy Cakes, and of course Midnight, and over at the English desk,
it's us, still the Wee Bear Bros over here on the English desk. It's me, Naisu, Leo, and Renmar, and we'll be joining you guys in the English broadcast later.
And with that being said, of course, this game is monitored and supervised by the Games and Amusement Board. Leading onto this game, we've already said it, ONIC versus TNC. A lot of history ang pinaliligiran ng dalawang koponan na ito, but one direction goes for both of them, and that is to officially get back into the winning column.
Sorry. We have yet to see. Going back, we have yet to see na manalo ang TNC Pro team sa kanilang sabihin natin bagong luma lineup with the addition of Stome. And for ONIC naman, nakita na natin yung performance ni Savero. Welcome na welcome. Winelcome niya mismo ang sarili niya dito sa MPL PH.
Oo, nagpakilala. Kumbaga, sabi niya sa lahat ng doubters dyan, ako Savero, good laner of ONIC Philippines.
Oo nga, may marunong ba magbasa sa inyo? Anyone?
I understand more than I speak. I understand more than I speak.
This guy right over here.
Your thoughts on this game, go ahead.
Well, I'm excited to see ONIC in action again, because every time we've seen ONIC so far this season, it's a 3-game series. They can take very commanding wins. The game 1 that they played against Falcons Philippines last week, they dominated. And then in games 2 and 3, that's when they started running out of gas, because Falcons Philippines decided to get really crafty with it. But for TNC, again, I still want to see more of the TNC that made us believe in the MPL Philippines Season 16 playoffs. I don't think we're quite there yet, but we've seen enough, I think, that this might be the week where we're going to start seeing them really start performing better.
I think there's no use in looking back to the past. Today they decide, hey, we're playing with Stome. In case you didn't notice, when they left that elevator, si Stome, yung kasama nila.
I think either way, there's a lot that people want to see from TNC because of what they saw in the playoffs. This is what we echoed back in week 1, even last week. But also, the thing for ONIC is we spent so much time talking about Savero. What about the monster with him, man? What about the monster mage Super Prince?
Yeah, I mean, from the looks of it, yun yung nabanggit sa ilan sa mga podcasts from a bunch of content that you guys have mentioned. Probably Wolf has also done yung punto na itong si Super Prince ang puso ng ONIC Philippines. What do you think about that statement?
Well, honestly, I think ine-echo din to ng coach nila na ngayon ay nasa Navi, Indonesia. Nandiyan si Coach Wynot with a quote. Sabi niya, he makes great shot calls, has a great read on the map. He's very calm and collected. When we lost the last season, it was because he couldn't do what he was supposed to do. If Prince is not active from the game, it gets really hard for the team. Sinabi niya to sa podcast nila ni Mirko for MPL Indonesia, and I honestly think the same thing. Kumbaga, yung mga teams kasi, they have their own identities, they have their own play style, and I feel like for ONIC Philippines, since ang tagal niya na nandito, I would even dare say, ONIC Philippines is Super Prince.
Oh, nandun nga din sa dulo. He is the main pillar of ONIC Philippines. So, safe ba na kapag wala o nadudurog si Super Prince sa lane, matatalo ang ONIC Philippines?
You know what? Historically, he is. This is the 8th season in the MPL, and since he came in, 7 seasons lang yung ONIC since then, Season 4. So talagang si ONIC na nga si Prince.
Yeah, modern day ONIC Philippines is Super Prince. From the Monster Anarchy era that came in.
Season 10.
That's why he's the Monster Mage. That's why we called him the Monster Mage.
And I think that's also the reason why hindi mo pwede mo sila ma-interchange eh. Ang ONIC ba si Super Prince or si Super Prince ang ONIC, right? It heavily depends, and kung sino man yung mga dumating, umalis dito sa team na to, he's been the one that stayed consistent for this game. But guys, I just heard a brand new name entering this series. Leo, you've had a glimpse of it. Talk to us a little too fast about this one.
Yeah, no, real quick. There is a signal announced by TNC themselves. Stome is entering the arena. Kasali ang bago nilang salta sa larong ito against ONIC. Stome is seeing play.
And That is, again, a historic feat para sa pinakabagong manlalaro ng TNC Pro Team. But to get to know him more, we'll be having an interview together with him.
Thank you so much, casters. Indeed, we are feeling the storm here at the dugout of TMC. Dahil nagbabalik! Maligayang pagbabalik sa'yo, Stone! The MPL superfans missed you. You're back finally after how many seasons in the Philippines? Kumusta dahil bumabalik ka na dito sa roots mo kung saan ka nanggaling?
Sobrang saya, parang sobrang stable kasi siyempre nasa Philippines ako eh. Dito ako para umalis.
Feeling mo hindi ka umalis. It's like your home.
Yes.
Ayan. At na-homesick ka ba? Ang dami mong na-miss na season.
Hindi naman. Mas mahaba yung career Asia.
And speaking of your career in Malaysia, again, you're back. Ano yung napansin mong pinakamalaking pagbabago? Naging pinakamalaking pagbabago dito sa liga ngayong nagbalik ka na?
Kasi kahit dati pa parang pabago-bago yung mga malalakas na teams. Kumbaga wala nagdo-dominate talaga. So kung may nagbabago is yung mga teams na nagdo-dominate lang talaga. Tingin ko yun lang yung bago.
And 3 games, third game na to ng team nyo. Kapalitan mo si Lance ngayon. Kamustahin ko lang, kamusta yung dynamic yung dalawa?
Okay naman kasi magkaiba kasi kami ng playstyle eh. So ayun yung medyo tinatry namin i-mix and match pa sa team. And yung hope ko lang sana na mag-workout yung dynamic ko sa team sa game namin sa ONIC.
Yeah, and syempre may mga, of course, sinasabi si Coach about this. Everybody's been itching to ask this. Lancy played 2 games, you're gonna play today. Paano daw yung magiging palitan nyo?
Mahirap masabi. So far, yung plan namin is sa early game lang, early weeks na MPL lang. And then, titignan namin on the fly kung ano ba dapat yung pinakamagandang decision para sa team.
Alright, and of course, you're going against ONIC. In a few, ano bang pwede namin expect for your first game of the season?
Expect nyo na parang ang tagal nyo akong hindi nakita pero wala akong kaba. So expect nyo na malalabas kayong best sa game na to, no excuses, and bibigyan namin kayo ng magandang laban.
Bibigyan ng magandang laban, walang kaba. Everybody, welcome back, Storm! Yes, feel the energy from here, and again, we're turning it over back to you guys.
Maraming salamat, Denise. Together with Stone making his return to the Philippines, you love to see the confidence in this guy na parang hindi siya umalis, nandito pa rin, and he's ready to roll.
Considering he's up against the Monster Mage na pinag-uusapan nga natin kanina, kumbaga siya na yung bumuo o siya na yung personality ng ONIC. Siya na mismo yung ONIC Philippines. So, how is this gonna pan out knowing na matinding mage ang kalaban niya?
Alam mo, meron sigurong mga paraan para mabanggit natin yan ng isa-isa ng medyo maayos, right?
Why did you howl? Why did you howl, bro?
I always do now.
There goes the signal, ladies and gentlemen.
Pinag-tunin mo na nga.
Ito na ang Infinix keys to victory for both teams. ONIC, they have to break down TNC's ultra-slow playstyle and also pressure TNC's mid-lane duo by jungle takeover or river control. In short, mid-lane control na naman. Sobrang importante talaga ng duo mid, especially in this meta. If you get a one-up in the mid lane, napakalaki talaga ng control na binibigay. And TNC, nakita natin yung kanilang past performance, medyo mabagal talaga. Hindi sila ganun ka-aggressive sa early game. So this is something that ONIC can actually capitalize. But for TNC, ano ba kailangan nilang gawin?
Well, hard commit. Being fast against ONIC. If you find an opening to dive, to start building small advantages for yourself before objective fights, you have to take it. There was a little bit of hesitation. It feels like TNC are sort of like in this mode right now of like, they have to think every single step of the way. That's not the DNA of this team. When you're playing around a player such as Chapnu, you want to go for any opening that you find. Draft Hero comes with faster win conditions against ONIC, easier said than done. So let's put it with a little bit more sure statements here. I feel like the Twisted Minds game is a revelation for us. You have to watch out for Valentina and Harley specifically in the center. And we've already seen ONIC Philippines and King Kong get an MVP performance with a Harley jungle. TNC need to watch out for that.
Yeah, I mean, ang dami na nating nakita kahit nasabihin natin na 4 na araw pa lang yung Season 17. There's already a lot of things that we've noticed. And in fact, Naisu, we did take a look at, again, yung mga Dark Continent picks from before. But let's change a little bit more about that. Kasi sa ngayon, this is TNC with a brand new player. What do you think? Can he contribute to this squad, given that it's his first game?
I think he can bring what he learned in Malaysia for all those seasons. You know, there's one thing that you can take is any of the players that get a chance to go to a different region, play there. There is something that they bring themselves from the Philippines, but also that they learn while playing in a different region. So if that means bringing some of the Dark Continent picks or some of the off-meta picks for Stone, maybe not. It could work. I don't know.
Stone has a pocket Paramis.
That's
so
true.
They might draft around that if possible. But for now, I agree with Hans. Just stay within the meta, go fast, like you mentioned, Renmar. I'd say put Benny on a quick marksman like a Granger or something.
Yeah, I think a faster scaling gold laner for Benny Cutie would do really well for TNC Pro Team, just so also that they don't have to get pressured into, hey, we lost an early game, let's play it slow just so Benny can catch up, because that doesn't work out for them.
Parang abandon carry kaya yung magiging plano kasi for the longest time yun yung nangyayari, and those were games na si Benny Cutie being the carry, even late game, tinatanggalan siya ng use ng mga kalaban such as Marcel.
Yeah, well, to be fair, si Benny did sinabi niya last week ayaw niya magsora.
Kung ayaw niya magsora, does that mean he also doesn't want to play the Freya in the gold lane?
Well, it heavily depends. Kasi, di ba, napapansin natin kanina, there's like a triangular form na.
Yeah.
It's either mapipick yung dalawang heroes, but there's always going to be one left behind in the banning phase. So it just depends on what you want to do for now.
Honestly, from my perspective, they just stick to what they're used to, you know. Flex that gold lane into the fighter, play the marksman if need be. But again, they have to hone into sa keys victory natin. Duo mid is so important, especially in this patch. Yeah. No matter what your draft is, if you lose duo mid, if you lose the river, pretty much depende na sa kalaban kung mananalo sila o hindi.
Which we saw in the last series. Like that one game that was a 10-25 minute game or such.
That was a Khalid Valentina.
Khalid Valentina. If you lose that early, I feel like sometimes teams just take the win off that.
Yeah. That's so difficult to do kasi the idea, especially for game number 3, nang nangyari kanina was them breaking that Valentina and Khalid into 2 separate drafts for both of the teams. Will we see that today? That we are about to find out. But of course, para sa lahat ng ating mga manonood, the moment you're waiting for is here. Super family of ONIC Philippines, Phoenix Army of TNC Pro Team. Here are the 2 teams.
To ensure the integrity of the game, our marshals, Dojin, JT, Miko, and Luis. Tuning out the noise and tuning up the frequency for a week 2 takeover. Sonics, make some noise for ONIC Philippines! Racing for the bounce back and ready to burn through the doubt. Phoenix Army, this is TNC Pro Team! As always, our head referee is set. And our head coaches, for ONIC Philippines, Coach Hayes. For TNC Pro Team, Coach E2 Max. MPL Arena, simple lang mag-ingay!
And here we go. This is an electrifying match here for day 1. Let's take us through ONIC Philippines.
Today, they choose to play with Ryota. And last week, a lot of people were blaming Kirk. So it's safe to say this week, there's a chance for ONIC to bounce back. A new XP laner and another chance for dubbed last week as Xavier Savero, to prove that he belongs in the big leagues in MPL Philippines.
Welcome back, Stome. It's been, how many seasons we last on? A very long time.
Since 11, I believe.
Season 11.
Last seen with Omega.
Yep.
Last seen with Omega, but now he's familiar. He's back again with familiar faces. Jackno, he's being coached by Igamax. Hito is there as well. So if there's anyone that could unlock a potential of this team, calling it back to the old favorites, and we know in MPL Philippines, teams who are willing to channel back to old favorites and modernize it do really well, then let's see if Stone can actually bring that for his very first game coming back.
One of the biggest stats here that is showcasing itself is that tower take percentage, man. TNC, if they want to go ahead and beat ONIC here, they really need to be able to go ahead and maintain the early game pressure if they can, but also focus on the macro. Focus on the map, trading maybe objectives for map space to open things up for that opportunity for them.
Joseph, I expect that stat to actually change, because these are stats based on a lineup in a draft wherein Benny can't play. That's another big thing, how do I say, big point of how they were struggling in the first week. So now I expect them to lean hard on that other stat, kill participation. I hope TNC dogpile on ONIC to see a good match.
We're going to have to just wait a little bit as we take a look at our Smart 5G ping test.
Ano daw message natin sa TNC, pre? Tulungan nyo nga ako. Sabi ni Bruce ko, galingin nyo kasi gagalingan namin. And guys, thank you sa lahat ng pumunta, especially sa mga galing pang malaking lugar. Ayun. Bibigyan namin kayo ng masayang laban. Ayan na ang mga arts. Hi guys, hi and goodbye. Salamat sa lahat ng pumunta. Enjoy nyo yung laban namin versus TNC.
Hello. Shout out to you, bro. Are you Stormy? 6. Good luck sa ating dalawa as super friends. Good luck sa ONIC at panalunin niyo ako sa first game, please.
Hey, welcome back. So nothing much to say there.
What was that? Was he asked how long has it been since you were last in MPL Philippines? How long? How many seasons? 6,
7. Oh my God.
Accurate.
Yeah, pretty accurate.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Mr. Dale.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we do get to see his Faramis show up. Considering that you were asking if TNC Pro Team, if they want a chance to give ONIC a good fight, then maybe a hero such as Faramis that can extend team fights, force out some resources out of the opposing team would be good for them. First map is going to be expanding rivers. ONIC want to play this fast.
Little swapperoo.
A little swapperoo. So this now has to be a sign for TNC Pro Team that they cannot play a slower lineup here. ONIC are expected to play fast. I will go back to what I said earlier in the panel. You have to watch out for the Valentina and the Harley specifically. Harley has been coming up a little bit more, if not in the first 3, if it looks good, it's gonna come out as a blue side last pick that doesn't have a lot of counters. You can actually only do so much to stop a Harley from getting close to the objective. The biggest threat of that hero isn't even one of the best things he can do. It's the fact that he can just throw out deadly magic and even force out roamers to go all the way back, calling the EXP laner forward, and then instantly building an advantage for you so easily.
And it works so well with the Valentina. So it's like, you want to at least take that away or just ban it out so that combination cannot happen. Because even when it comes to the itemization, you see how they work synergistically with each other. Either a Rush Genius Wand for the Harley to go ahead and bring down some of that magic resist, and then the Valentina can actually capitalize on that. And once they get the Divine Glaives too, there's just a ton of damage that you have to deal with, where even what we've seen a Radiant Armor wasn't enough to deal with that kind of burst potential in terms of a Harley and a Valentina. So let's see exactly how the draft plays out, because that seems to be something that all teams want to take in consideration. Also the fact that we have that matchup. I know last week it was like we highlighted so much with Severo. I feel like on day 1 with Severo, he really came out swinging. You got to see a whole lot of great technique and micro skills. Day 3 wasn't as good for him. So even here in this matchup, I think he's still going to be going toe-to-toe in that gold lane. He's going to have to be able to go ahead and pop off against Benny Cutie. But in order to do that, it starts in the early game with that mid trio really focusing down on that. So let's take a look at the bans here. You see the Valentina is taken out by ONIC.
It looks like we're posed for either an Eve or Leomord priority pick here. TNC snuff out any possibilities of a surprise Fanny pickup with the Valentina and Kaleogon. Yeah, I think it's really just Eve or Leomord that you could prioritize, unless they want to swerve and then pick up a Farsa for them, excuse me, not Farsa, Freya for themselves, but that hasn't really been an ONIC thing to do.
Knowing Storm is playing, I think they'll have to double down extra on that mid lane. They'll have to, how do I say, put a priority on it, because you're playing with a new element. It's a new player that you know will not revert to Lunox, which isn't a dig at Lancy. It's just, it's knowledge that you don't have prior experience from.
Yeah. We'll see what they end up going here. Because we've seen blue pick be such a big priority. Oh, interesting too, the carry is actually banned out.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah, like Benny's not gonna get to play it now, so it's banned now.
Hey, if Benny doesn't want to play a Sora, or again, by deduction, not a Freya, play fast. Marksman, play the Ranger, play the Harith if he can get hands on it.
Yeah, even the Harith would be an okay option. ONIC are going to be looking out for that already.
Yep.
So, hypothetically, if this is going to be an E for ONIC, might mean that TNC are going to end up with a Leomord for Zyda. I'd want to see them pick up either a Leomord Khalid or a Leomord Hilda. Roamers for this matchup, since we put a lot of importance for roam mid, Freya block. So yeah, Eve here, then could be Leomord Khalid or Leomord Hilda later on for TNC.
Or Suyo Khalid.
Suyo could also come in also for
especially
TNC.
with the Eve.
Yeah. Eve would just be the best way to go though for ONIC.
Yeah.
Because of, you know, super frenzy. They don't go that. They actually go the Sora.
Of course.
It's open.
Benny doesn't want to play it, pick it up for themselves. And Ryota, well, ONIC played really well with the Sora on the hands of Kirk. Let's see how Ryota's going to fare with it. And his job actually is going to be simple. It's just look for Storm. So that's going to be the Sora diving onto the backline of TNC over and over again. But now TNC need a good balance of a roamer who can vision and burst while also peel. If that's the case, I'm leaning a little bit more towards the Hilda getting picked up by them. If this is looking like an EXP Sora, I think later a Ryota, or excuse me, an EXP lane Arlott might be good.
Yeah.
To pair up with the even Marcel, actually. Okay, I can see the vision there if they decide to pick up Arlott and DXP.
Marcel got his first 2 wins last week on day 3. He was 0-3 at the start of day 3 in week 1, and he got 2 wins with the same guy. And he was able to make it work, and that's one thing we're really talking about is it's interesting to see how Marcel works in certain compositions. It's like you have to be that mosquito, is basically what we called him, where you're annoying the enemy team, you're trying to make things happen, and also utilize the golden hour for your team to work around.
I wonder if they're already thinking about a Harley and that's why they pick up the Marcel early. Because the golden hour, if you think about it, it's like a winter crown for an entire team to block the deadly magic. So ONIC decided to pick up the Leomord. Don't see a Harley vision, but the Cho early on is surprising. They go full dive against a Marcel.
Why and how?
Here, yeah.
Cho hasn't really been the biggest prio pick in the past, 6 months?
Yeah.
He was played last week by Perks, but
they might be playing this as a possibility for flex.
Like a gold lane show?
Like a gold lane show. I mean, it is ONIC, but it isn't Kirk. But I wouldn't be surprised if Ryota also has an EXP lane show in their hand.
And then you get a gold lane Sora.
And then a gold lane Sora. So they might be playing for the flex factor, but TNC, they don't need to overthink it. They go for the Phoebus instead. Instead of picking up the Arlott, because of the presence of the Cho, now that's an instant Phoebus pickup. And the Sora as well also has some little micro dashes, Leomord as well, so it's just a great Phoebus pick.
Yeah, Phoebus just seems to be continuing to rise in stock here over the first couple of weeks already, and he just does so well with the current meta, especially the heroes that are picked up. A lot of those Infernal Pursuits being triggered here. You'll see this interesting ban comes out because one of the few players that does pick the Lilia is the Monster Mage, like we talked about here in the pre-panel.
Picked it last week.
Super Prince picked it last week, made it work, and you can argue, is Super Prince ONIC or is ONIC Super Prince? Well, there you go. A Harith banned out too. Super Prince is going to have a lot of room to work with, regardless of what mage he picks. But the gold lane is what I'm worried for Benny Cutie in this matchup.
Depending on what ONIC ban out in Blue 5, it's down to Granger and Moscow. If they're going to follow this whole...
You think he'll pick a 1-1? Since that's a Benny Cutie pick?
Oh, wait. Cho, Leomord, Sora...
For me personally, no.
They picked the Phoebus, so it might be kind of like a telegraph protected pick.
Yeah, that's why it's just I'm only throwing out because it's Benny Cutie.
I'm not against it completely.
But if given the choice, they're really focusing on Super Prince here. He still has the Farsa available for him if ever.
He's got the Farsa, he's got the Zetian.
Zetian as well would be great. Oh, considering that you're a full dive comp, you have a strong crowd control ability that if ever, -1 instantly with the Way of the Dragon, Fury of the Phoenix is a good combo. So between the options of Farsa and Zetian, I'm leaning more towards Zetian. And between 1-1 and Moskov, I'm leaning more towards Moskov. Because at least with the Moskov, if Phoveus ever makes it to you, you have one knockback to make the most out of and then reposition.
Yeah.
Yes, after the blink, the Phoveus can cash up to you, but that's a blink ability, not a dash ability. So it is a different proc.
All right, let's see what they ban out here for the last ban here from ONIC. They're going to go for the Baksha pick.
No.
Because Zaid has no jungler yet.
Yeah. Just
unless he goes
Steady Freddy.
Or Suyo.
Or Suyo. Yeah, you're not gonna be worried of you're not gonna be worried of a lot of magic damage. Suyo would slot in well. Leomord, fast clear. Could be good, yeah.
I think that's the decision. Do we pick up the jungle now? Or do we pick up the gold lane and leave the rest? Because yes, that is still the factor that there is a potential with the ONIC picks. Something could be flexed here. So they kind of want to wait to also see what the last 2 picks are for ONIC.
Oh, they're running it by Benny. You want to play this?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I'll cover 1-1.
Okay, Claude.
This has got to be a Purify Claude.
Yeah.
Has to be.
100% has to be a Purify Claude. So, are ONIC going to end up with something that can blast this? Carry's gone in the matchup. Claude's there. They can still settle back to their YSS gold if they want to. Put the Cho in the roam, Sora EXP. Unless we've already seen the gold, then that is going to be Severo's pickup in the lane. Unfortunately, we actually didn't get to see enough of Severo during the gold lane meta. It was Skylar playing for ONIC ID then. So we don't know how comfortable the young man is with playing fighters in the gold lane.
What if he just goes Moskov? Like, that's what he showed, I feel like, the most.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Last week.
In terms of priorities.
No, it's going to be... Oh, okay.
Oh, it is gold lane. Gold lane Sora?
So gold lane Cho.
Prince on the Kimmy. Kimmy Hylos is the bane of many an RG player since 2023 or something.
Oh, you're not playing Brethren here is going to be tough. With the high loss, no. Yeah, just go Suyo. There's going to be a lot of invades coming from ONIC though.
Yeah, I wouldn't want a Nalan either.
Ow. If you look at their gold side lane picks for ONIC, they're both priority.
Ooh,
so they are looking to collapse into the jungle. Huh? No, it's Harley's turn. Zyda's turn to play the Harley.
Okay, this I like.
Yeah.
I can get behind this. It's better than a Nolan, and even the Suyo I would be skittish to play.
Let us know what you guys think out there, super fans. If you want to win 1,000 diamonds, predict the match winner correctly. Scan the QR on the screen right now to know more. There's your chance to get some diamonds. Let us know in the chat as well who you guys think is going to win this game 1. That Harley pick there at the end, man, and what was the swap there? Did we see who got the... Where's Severo going? Is he on the Sora? Is it going to be gold lane
We'll
Sora?
confirm it in the screen. It is...
Oh, it is.
Severo gold lane Sora.
Whoa,
Brusco. EXP Hylos.
Yeah.
They dead lane the Hylos Phoveus. Oh.
It's been a long while.
Yeah.
Since we've seen Hylos get thrown into a dead lane like that.
Yeah, and it's a revitalized dead lane Hylos too. Interesting.
You're not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. Let the map unfold.
Yeah. So I thought that we'd actually end up getting 2 very proactive side lanes so that ONIC can just fast clear, win lane, collapse in the center. Except ONIC now decided to focus on completely taking 3 more out of the equation, maybe. But now Zyda is in trouble.
Oh no! Shaknu in deep.
Brusco was trying to delay Zyda and potentially get a kill there, but he ends up dying.
So that's how you answer it. You kind of freeze the Cho on its way in.
Yeah. All right. Oh, okay. So the Marcel.
That's one thing I was wondering, was how would the Cho fare against a Marcel?
Yeah.
Like any close range hero, bad.
Bad. I think it is. It's looking like it is just going to be easy. But right now, Brusco is still continuing the pressure onto the jungle of Zyda. Getting vision, but not going to be aggressive now, knowing that he already gave up 1 kill. Severo, we're going to see a gold lane fighter. We didn't see him in a fighter last week. See how he's going to fare against Benny QT. Still, I like that despite us not being a fan of the slower, more farm-based gold laner for Benny QT, at least now, with Harley in the jungle, you have a good bridge for it. Harley's damage will be there as long as it doesn't suffer any crazy early game losses. You'll be able to bridge in for the Claude for the late game very easily.
I think that's the key. If you have a dead lane and a weak lane, there has to be some action on the map.
Which is your jungler in this case.
Yeah.
You know, and even in both cases, the Leo Morn, we've seen a whole lot of Leo Morn picked up. This is one of those things, though, for ONIC specifically, especially because of just the early first blood, that they might choose to decide to go a different route on this turtle unless they actually get an advantage in terms of the space. King Kong's level 4, he's going to go ahead and start with the turtle. Super Prince is there as well, has the traction pulse available, but Brusco...
All right, in goes Brusco once more. Gonna get popped here by the deadly magics. That is the Phantom Steed helping King Kong secure. Odd positioning for Stome. I think he was late, maybe 2 seconds to get that ult, so that TNC could not say full on, full send, let's go. So going. Riota gets frozen, but not enough damage between the Phoveus and the Marcel, at least this early on.
Yeah, it seems like it is confirmed. Difficult for Cho to get into a good spot to mess up the backline with the Marcel floating around. Effective healing tool. But also one of the reasons why TNC Pro Team couldn't go for the full commit is because 3mar didn't hit level 4 yet. Ryota hit level 4 first and was in a better position to cut off TNC with a glorious pathway, so they decided to play for the slower, trying to see if they can take the turtle away. Just did not go well for them. They did get a kill though, but they did not get the turtle.
Yeah, so it's still nonetheless across the map. It's pretty much even in terms of the way things panned out, but now this is where we get to take a look at not only the Infinix hand cam here, the GT series that we have, the official gaming phone of the MPL Philippines Season 17, but also exactly how this is going to play out now that Brusco has that Way of the Dragon, which is the cornerstone of having this Cho, aside from the G Kundo, that he's able to go ahead and utilize. But that might be a little more difficult. That's why I want to see this unfold with a Marcel across from him.
Oh, they find Ryota, force him to pop that Revitalize. Zaida
There's the kick.
Has already used it. The kick on the one, and they freeze the engage. The answer on the Stone. Some flickers back. RWM extra shield, swiping away at the rest of ONIC PH. And they dive on to King Kong. He gets taken down as Chapnu flickers back. Smooth move by the Phoenix Army.
Welcome back, Stone. And also, just as I said, how difficult would it be to actually connect a kick into a kill with a Marcel across from you?
So picking picking Cho with the Marcel around, not good.
You were saying?
There
he
it is.
gets kicked! Benny has no Purify! And he does not have a blade to do it.
Benny.
He walks out of there! He survives!
He just runs!
They're active, they're going around the map. TNC have handled the past 2 sequences well. One of the reasons why they had advantage in the mid also was because Ryota was spotted out with a great rotation blocked by Zaida and 3mar in left bush mid.
All right, Turtle is up. Second one of the game. ONIC trying to get control of it. No kick just yet for Brusco, so I'm not sure if they can actually really contest this.
Benny has 5 seconds off his Purify.
Okay, now he's got the kick. Benny's got the Purify. Nearly there. They're going to fight for this turtle.
Brusco's very low. Gets taken out by 3mar. Turtle secured by Zaida. And a massive torrent here by Ryota. Able to disrupt TNC's forward momentum. Chapnu Gold now walks on out of here. In comes Benny. Blazing duet. But he gets disrupted as he PMI's on out of there. Chapnu looking for some stuns. Zaida, right click, takes down Savero.
The back and forth, bobbing and weaving TNC. We thought TNC needed to watch out for the Harley pick of ONIC, but it turns out it's ONIC that needed to watch out for the Harley pick of Zaida and TNC.
Zaida said, hold my hat. He'll make it work, man. The Harley again, one of those picks that popped up back in, what, M7 for one of the first times. And now it seems to be a mainstay in the current meta right now until teams really figure out how to deal with this Harley pick. But it's not only that, it's the way the team composition works together. You're seeing it from down to the skirmishes, down to the major fights around the objectives. And Chapnu himself has actually been able to go ahead and find something that works really well on this Marcel. And that's something that ONIC is going to have to struggle with for a little bit longer, because this lineup just doesn't really give them that opportunity to fight face-to-face just yet.
Force the torrent out of Ryota there. Rather, Savero, the lightning form. But, okay, great move from ONIC. Again, they freeze the map for long enough for that duo push up top.
Yeah. So now they're going to be playing through their actual carry now for the mid to the late game. It's going to be Super Friends. But is he still going to be building Skypiercer considering that they didn't have the early game that they want? Probably not. So it's going to be a mix of playing through... Well, okay. Yeah, it's unfair to say Super Friends is just a carry. Wait,
Chaknu looking for the right freeze. No, the picture, the moment's not right.
Yeah.
He does not force the engage. Benny Cutie looking for an angle. Turtle in 5.
Snapping a shot there.
Oh, no. Ryota here. Throws it once more. Forces a revitalize. Yo, Chaknu is a nuisance.
Like I said, man, I said this last week. Marcel is literally a mosquito to the opposing team. And even if you do that, you just bob and weave through there. He's running the quantum charge. He's got the speed. And if you get a revitalize down or a battle spell, that's great. They're going to fight for this turtle.
Glorious pathway, dropped in by Ryota. They freeze the turtle. They freeze the entry point. Golden hour done. King Kong calls in Barbiel. Ryota barely alive. In comes 3-bar. Ducks on him. RWM keeps him down. Ryota's fallen. Shawa Savero. And King Kong falls. Benny gets a double and they're not done. They're chasing Brusco. Chaknu frees them. Damage from Zaya. A hat in time. He survives with some shields. ONIC saving face, but TNC pushing mid.
Fancy footwork from Brusco to stay alive, but TNC is in control.
Yeah, so one of the key plays that I saw there was actually a dodge from Benny Cutie. Severo decided to go straight for the Claude, but Benny Cutie just went over the wall with a BMI. Severo went for the shifting clouds, but landed onto no one. Well, specifically landed on the Golem Green Camp. But not on any of the heroes of TNC. With that massive dodge in the backline now going to be safe, TNC easily fought that. Although King Kong did get that turtle, it was still a massive loss in the end for ONIC.
Oh! Benny Cutie catches a face full of basic attacks from Super Friends. Time to breathe here. The map belongs to TNC, clearly, but where does ONIC find a way in? Because it looks like their only real surprise comes from Prince jumping him. I think TNC have read out Brusco at this point.
Yeah. Read out Brusco. They deal with Ryota. This is why the Tylos pick in the XP lane was a little weird, the way that it ended up in that position, because all you're seeing TNC do is, okay, find Ryota. He's very slow unless we pop the Glorious Pathway or the Revitalize. Either way, we're winning by getting those out from Ryota.
Man, Marcel is a nuisance. Even when Brusco tries wants to get a little combo on him, maybe Jeet can go see if he can get a kickoff. Nah, you're just going to get frozen in time. Quick little picture.
Goes through all of them. That's 4 members confirming where they are. That's old school vision right there.
Yeah, trigger discipline. If this was last week's TNC, they would have full committed that right away. But instead, they just read the situation. They found the vision, and they decided to back off, knowing that the Lord is coming up.
This almost has to be... I'm wondering how Chaknu feels about this, you know, since he's such a legendary roamer, playing Marcel in this way, essentially being able to provide free vision without too much of a worry to die, instead of needing to jump into a bush or make something happen that way. He's able to go ahead and maneuver around the opposing team this way. It gives them such an advantage, and now that this Lord is up, despite it all, ONIC is actually in a position to want to contest and fight.
Interesting moves like Chaknu, up and just flushes out all the bushes, even those top bushes, just in case someone from ONIC got in.
And ONIC can only watch.
At half health, they freeze Savero, they take him down. Deadly Magic's committed. Golden hour, stopping the entry through there. Ryota gets caught even in his Glorious Pathway. 2 free kills for TNC, and they're not done. RWM stopping Fritz from getting away. Zaida, space escape in through, dealing damage. In comes the dangerous 3-mark. King Kong looking to clean up, but not going to be enough. He calls in Barbiel, but he's about to fall as well. Stone finds one, and it might be a wipeout. Brusco, burn in, flickers out all this while. Benny was taking care of Lord.
Take a good look, because this is the last time you're going to see Marcel this series.
I got to say, this is one of the best synergies we've seen from TNC in a while. They are alley-ooping each other, and Chaknu earlier on, even with the golden hour, even though it didn't hit anyone, it zoned out the members from the team to focus on a kill, and that's just how strong it's working for them.
Yeah, and because where Chaknu got vision, he found Brusco, meaning left bush mid was held by Savero. He was in the right place, but because of them getting forced back, I believe it was Brusco and Super Friends forced back by the Marcel alone, that meant Savero would be an easy target for TNC to take down. So it's the effect of picking the Cho right after seeing the Marcel that's just working out very well for TNC and very badly for ONIC.
Oh, this is so tough. Golden Hour used. They just want to get that tier 2. They get it down. He picks up a flask of the Oasis, so he's already even more annoying now with the shields. Look at the shields.
Look at that perilous cross he made right through tier 3 in mid.
Hey, man, you want the pictures bad enough. You're going to do that. Right now, Lord charging up bottom base turret. King Kong.
He does it again! Runs right through even King Kong!
I think he's getting MVP, guys.
Oh, that's it. He's in the base. Lord has crashed on through. These tracking shots by Chad are getting it so much easier. King Kong, can he live? No, even underneath the fountain, he gets popped by the deadly magics. TNC are looking to finish here. Lord is been taken down. The Phoenix Army have to slow it down.
They're going to have to do it somehow. Wave in mid, taking down this last base turret. And without King Kong, can ONIC Philippines defend this?
Oh, Chaknu finds 3 out to freeze him right before he drops the Glorious Pathway, but that's going to take care of the inhibitor anyways. TNC, they're looking at a bare base. Chaknu looking for more. Real number manipulation. Chaknu gets away. Chaknu very low. Golden Hour underneath it. He freezes all the damage. Chavero comes in. Not enough. Gets taken down by Zaida. Chaknu goes and tries to freeze him more. And there's a base. There's the minions. TNC take game 1.
Chaknu on the Marcel telling ONIC, before anyone wanted to take pictures with you, everybody wanted to take pictures with me. What a performance by the Mamba on the Marcel.
Not the hero you'd expect in the hands of someone like Chaknu, but damn, did he make it look good there. And also, Stome, again, welcome back to the MPL Philippines.
It might be too soon to say, but is it just me, or does it look like Chaknu and Stome are really talking?
Yes! Yeah. When we were gassing and watching, talking about the action that Chaknu and Nancy brought for TNC last week, it always felt like there was a slight disconnect here and there. It wasn't all the time, but a good amount of the time we were thinking, were they not talking? Here, definitely you could feel it. Stome and Chaknu probably were talking nonstop, and hence why their timings together. Chaknu gets vision, Stome is there, Void Crystal right away, you get a little bit of poke over and over again.
Stome's about to die, Chaknu puts up the Golden Hour, gets the flicker on out. It's almost picture perfect.
Is that the familiarity with, you know, back in the day, if you will?
As Omega Brothers?
As Omega Brothers. Is there something there?
I'm pretty sure it is, man.
Yeah, that we haven't seen in a while.
Yeah, it has to be. TNC did not make, I mean, of course, reigning, defending, roster reveal champions for how many seasons now, would not spend all of that effort to, okay, they didn't talk there. Stone didn't get the high five there. Zaida is going to be MVP. The Hardy was a huge effect. I really wish it was the Marcel, though, but you know what? Zaida should give it to him. Well deserved, but that is very shocking to me.
Yep.
According to the stats, I think he's still the best jungler in the season currently, even with them losing last week.
Yeah, when Zaida gets a hero like this, of course, he's able to perform like this, but he wouldn't have been able to do this, I feel like, without the Mamba setting things up for them, Chaknu. And even so, again, there's so many moments, so many highlights. The trio.
It's that trio, Joseph.
It's what we talk about. We're going to look at the highlights here from Zaida and TNC. But that's what I was saying. Even at one point, Stone, was, if I remember right, was like 1-0-12. That's a KDA we saw from the Monster Mage last week. And this time, it's Stone. So, and I don't know, man. Maybe it was just because of that early start, that early momentum where they were able to shut down Brusco, because they didn't do it just then. They did it throughout the entirety of the game. And I feel like, again, Marcel, you're probably not going to see him in the next game.
The Bruiser could not play.
Yes.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it's just because of the Marcel, but the Marcel definitely helped. Like, he was more than half the reason why.
And it's more than just getting those little freeze frames or the Golden Hour. It's the vision. The vision provided with a Marcel's composition is insane.
And can we talk about how it looked like Benny was actually playing now?
Yeah.
Benny was just so ready. The one time that he died, or the one time he was caught with his pants down, was when his Purify was off of cooldown.
Yeah.
That was clearly a proactive move by ONIC. That was less of TNC fumbling or him making the mistake. But that aside, this is the Benny Cutie we were looking for since week 1.
Yeah, I mean, this is why we put a lot of focus on the roam mid duo for this specific matchup. When the roam mid is dominating and stopping the opposing roam mid,
the side laners are the happiest.
The rest of the map comes alive.
The rest of the map comes alive. Hence why it's open for BennyQT to just get out of the lane real quick. BMI, Blazing Duet, free hit. I'm going back to lane. Meanwhile, Severo's like slowly trugging along with the Sora, already beat to the punch by the Claude, and then rinse and repeat. If this went the other way and Brusco and Super Friends were able to handle Chaknu, maybe deliver a few deaths onto him so that Chaknu wouldn't be as open to continuously get vision, we might have seen a different story for BennyQT in the gold lane. Hell, that might have even affected the jungling pattern and impact of Zyda, but that's not what we saw. We saw clearly Joe gets ridiculously messed up by the Marcel.
Look at that. Again, 12-28 on this game. A massive victory, 16-3 for TNC.
Gentlemen, might I present this possibility?
Yes.
ONIC may have overcooked their draft.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, yeah, with those first 3 picks especially.
In the first, they're like, all right, here's the plan. And then second, wait, what were you going to do? Okay, let's recover.
I mean, clearly for ONIC, they decided to look at Super Friends as the main carry for this one. That's why you end up putting 2 fighters in the EXP lane, a tank in the EXP lane, so that your side lanes can just hold, manage, and the middle of the map is free. But then if you go into a losing matchup already with your roam and mid, then your entire plan collapses. Hence why it looks like ONIC's plan in the draft just fell apart as it went on. But I feel like it was more of because of the impact that, again, the Marcel has against the Cho, in the Cho's ability to get setups, to get vision.
Yeah.
It's a bad day for the roam mid of ONIC.
The roam mid, and even to a sense, I want to see Ryota play a different hero here. There's definitely something that, you know, wasn't just working. And it could have been the Hylos, it could have been something else, but I think, again, TNC just played that really great.
I have a theory about the whole Kirk and Ryota situation, but, you know what, I'll tell you after I get a sip of water.
Yes, because, you know what, that sip right there, that water, that hydration, it's purified and filtered through volcanic rocks for a crisp, clean taste that quenches like no other. Quench that thirst, Leo. There you go. And Redmar, why don't you quench it too?
I'm actually really thirsty, so
take a sip of sip. You know
I'm glad we have this so we can actually take the time to read it.
You know what? I am too.
Yeah, you know what? Take a sip will help cover for you. You know,
all right,
this is Max 5D on stage. That's clever engineering keeping these teams locked in. No distractions, just pure performance. Brought to you by TT Racing Philippines. We have your back. I just downed that, by the way.
Everywhere around the world, wherever you are, hold on to your TT Racing.
That's right. 5 Max. What is it? The 5 Max?
The Max 5D.
The Max 5D.
You know what I'm a big fan of when it comes to TT Racing? Their Ergo line.
Oh, true. Okay, so I love that one. I got to sit in those, and those are amazing. I kind of want one, actually. Maybe it's time. Maybe it's time to actually upgrade.
It's time.
Yeah.
Do you have my back, TT Racing?
Everybody's got your back, man.
No, like TT Racing.
Oh, okay. Well, they're included. Super fans, by the way, did you guys know men are 5 times more prone to dandruff? Yes. Yeah, I'm one of them. Don't let flakes ruin your focus.
Power up with Clear Men. Its triple cooling power gives you 100% dandruff-free for that ultimate fresh feeling. Supercharged with Clear. Look at this gentleman. Look at this young man right here.
Is he on the red carpet right now?
Is that James Banks modeling it? Oh, wait, no, yeah, let's focus on the man on the red carpet.
Hey, James Banks will be in action later this weekend. It's all about this guy right now.
Yeah.
There we go.
What's his name?
Kinda looks like Fremont.
Which one?
It could be relieved.
Our winner right here?
Kinda.
Kinda does, kinda does. What a smile, by the way.
Must
Hey,
be a
congratulations. Congratulations. That's our Clear Man right there. He's got the smile.
Clear Man?
That's our Clear Man.
Clear Man?
The Clear
He's our
Man.
Clear Man.
Is that gonna be a thing now? Okay.
What else are they called? I'm a Clear Man. I use Clear.
Yes, you are the Great White. So we want to thank Clear, by the way, for giving us also bottles finally.
Yep.
We all got bottles of that too. So thank you.
Clear gave us like 3 or 4 bottles throughout season 16, right?
Yeah.
I did not expect to run out of that as quick as I did.
You know why? Because it's such a great travel partner.
Yeah.
Like every single time we've traveled, right? The 3 of us have traveled. I've always brought my Clear.
Brought it to Indo, brought it to Japan, brought it to Thailand.
I brought it in my friend's house.
Did you leave it?
Yeah, I left it.
A little gift, like a little polite guest.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, right now, the man of that one, the man of the hour right now is Stone. His home, his welcoming home, starts off with a victory, man. He's locked in the zone. Stone is home, locked in the zone.
Ready to
go.
Yes, you were saying.
Ready to go.
Yeah.
Ready to go.
Ready to
Ready to
go.
go.
Ready to go.
Ready to go.
Go.
All right. Anyway, Stome is back, but you know it's nice to see because we wanted to see that matchup. And again, TNC is one of those teams. I mentioned this in the last series, guys, that there are teams out there that can kind of switch, swap, switch, something like that. Different iterations of their compositions for teams and make it work. Now, Stome is definitely a threat in this lineup for TNC.
I did not expect for TNC's comeback to happen this quick.
Yeah.
Because they're so clean. I don't know if it was because of ONIC's weird draft, but this may have almost single-handedly ruined my predictions for the week. Because I was right for the first match, but here I think I said ONIC sweep.
You said ONIC sweep?
Yeah, with TNC winning, again.
But you didn't know that.
I did not know that Stome
was home.
No, I
locked in the zone.
I knew he was home. I knew he was locked in the zone, but I didn't think he would play in the dome.
Yeah. I think even with the knowledge of Stone being in the dome, being back home.
In the zone.
I think what ruined maybe the prediction is really the overcooked draft that you mentioned.
Yeah.
But
that doesn't happen too often, though.
Yeah. But does this mean ONIC had personal intel that if there's a Marcel on the other side, then Cho is good? If that's the case, then I wonder who they were up against if they thought of that. Because clearly in that one, Cho not good against Marcel.
I'll tell you now, it wasn't against Chakno.
Yeah, it wasn't a Mamba.
Just to pull back a little bit of the veil for people who wonder how scrims work. Teams within the same league do not scrim with each other.
Yeah.
They are usually scrimming with international partners or very trusted amateur teams.
Yeah.
So it wasn't Chakno, so clearly that was a surprise to them too.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I don't think we're seeing Marcel anymore. I think even if, okay, for me, even if TNC decide to give the Marcel to ONIC, I'd be equally surprised. Like, what the heck?
If you see him, if you see Marcel picked up?
No, yeah, if TNC end up somehow giving the Marcel to ONIC.
Oh, yeah.
That would be a surprise too.
Yeah, because
like you want to run with him? Here.
Yeah, it's like, for me, it's like, just don't. It's like, you already showed off how busted this hero could be against a specific matchup and the influence that it has in the roam mid duo.
Yeah.
Then just don't pick it up. So after week one, okay, so this wasn't after the last game, but after week one specifically.
That's what I'm saying.
Your participation is Zyda on top, yeah.
Even when they were stumbling in week one, when everyone was blasting them saying, oh no, look, they locked in top 8 again.
Yep.
Zyda was still number 1.
Zyda was the guy that stood out to a lot of people, especially international viewers. Playoffs, especially when a lot of people tune in for the first time for playoffs. I saw a lot of chatter about Zyda.
Smitty Werben Jaegerman Jensen in the jungle. He is statistically the best jungler in Season 16.
Not he was, he is number 1 currently after week 1. Yeah, let's like not completely adding more details here. So I think we're pretty much all in the same boat, that maybe a little bit less overcooking for the draft.
Yeah.
Keep it tight.
Keep it tight. Instead of going like full sustain EXP lane, pick something a little bit more active for Ryota.
But I think that's where my aforementioned theory comes in. If they want a high roll, if ONIC go into a game, a match, knowing they need to kind of be explosive, that's when they bring Kirk in. If they need someone reliable, they need someone to just hold it down, that's when they bring in Ryota.
I get that because of how long Kirk has been doing the Kirk playstyle for ONIC and how consistently he's been doing that more.
Yeah.
But there were shades of that as well when Ryota picked up the Yu Zhong last week.
Yeah.
That went out really well for them.
Yes, but even that Yu Zhong did like 1 or 2 things good.
It was
always
a different Yu Zhong.
Yeah, it was always a follow-through Yu Zhong. Always a, are we fighting? Let me just go like a wrecking ball and then I'm done.
Okay, so you're talking about more like KDA impact-wise for an EXP laner.
Yeah. Okay. Ryota almost reminds, and Ryota's individually great. It just, he reminds me more of a different XP laner than what we're seeing more so in the current meta. He serves a very specific purpose whenever he's playing, and I feel like, yeah, like what Leo mentioned, he's more like this bulwark. He's more like this lineup front tank guy instead of more of the KDA make plays, make setup things that we usually see from Kirk. Now that could still work for ONIC, but I think even when we go back to keep it tight for ONIC, I think myself included, I find myself asking, what exactly does that look like with Severo now though? Because that is a big change for a lot of people that, you know, are looking towards ONIC Philippines now.
Which I was made
Wow.
for.
A total roam mid trio ban for TNC. Roam jungle and mid.
While ONIC are turning off the possibility of a Freya swerve, they take away Juicin. Could be a fight for Leomord, Sora, Valentina. But if the Valentina's open, then most likely TNC gets Valentina 1, and then ONIC will have to consider... Actually, no. If that's the trade, just take out the Sora.
And I think ONIC are happy to revert back to Akimi. They can run it back. They can just make it work. They can fix it.
Yeah. So I think with the presence of the Valentina Sora trade, that's really affecting this phase of the draft. They just decide, yeah, Marcel, they're going to open Sora, Valentina. TNC would rather pick up Valentina before the Sora, because as you all know, Val did show up as the EXP lane counter. Actually, even just a general counter against Sora, yeah. It's not direct and it's not like an instant win.
Yeah.
But the fact that the other team also has a Sora,
it's like safe.
Net positive reaction.
Yeah, it's a net positive reaction. Leomord is also still open if they want to.
I would just Val.
Yeah, right?
It's too risky to let it through now.
Yeah. But with the Eve already gone, there might not be a lot of big ticket ultimates that you can steal away from the mid laner unless it's a Jetin or something else shows up. But
there it is.
As you mentioned, it is the best pick right now. Valentina first.
Ride the stone, baby.
This brings us back to, was it season 9 or 10 when Valentina was like
10, 11,
the blue pick to take up? So imagine that 7 seasons later.
Yeah, she's back.
She's back.
That's when I would never really react to an early Valentina.
Yeah, it's just like, all right.
It
was a whole season.
It's a thing.
Yeah. So now ONIC has to decide if they want either the Hilda or the Khalid, because they're going to be risking giving that combo to Chapel and Storm together, so they're going to be full aggro.
You got to take the Khalid.
Yeah, just pick your poison of which one you want. Either the Khalid or Hilda with you, then paired up with the Leomord, maybe?
Wait, they go Hilda.
Yeah, Khalid ends up going to TNC.
Yeah. Guess they're willing to trade it.
Yeah,
They'll
and
take
Leomord. Yeah, so... Yeah, just don't risk losing it. Just pick up the Khalid. It's the safest pick that you can pair with it. You can pick up a surprise gold laner. Early on, take something, reduce Severo's pool, and then you're also going to continuously ban gold laners.
What if Khalid Suyo?
Okay, jungle would be good too.
And then you just like win mid hard.
Yeah. I'm thinking either Khalid Suyo or Khalid Harith. But the risk of putting up the Harith is that the Phoveus is still open for ONIC. If ever, they might pick both, but... I mean, it worked out earlier. Why not, right? It's undefeated still this season.
Wow, 4 wins.
Undefeated?
Yeah.
I didn't realize Harley was undefeated right now.
The clouds are ever shifting. But
And they'll get the Sora. So they take the Sora even though they have the Valentina.
Yeah. So they don't need to lean hard on rushing for the Khalid. The Phoveus still ends up getting picked up for ONIC, so it makes sense why they didn't go for the Harith. They got the better right now, which is Harley.
3 hard procs for the Phoveus.
Yep. So many dashes, right?
Yeah, and it's just one of those things where because of what Benny Cutie mentioned in one of his interviews, he's not picking the Sora. Like, he's not going with the Sora, it's going to 3 more.
Yeah. This still might end up becoming a... Ooh, Claude for Benny might... Oh, excuse me, for Severo might struggle. So if they're looking for their gold lane pick... Oh, man, with the Harley is really messing up like a lot of the options that I have in my head. Are they just going to end up boiling down to fighter? Or are they... Oh! TNC need to ban out the Harith. Because a red 3 Phoveus and there's no gold laner yet for ONIC means red 4 Harith might show up.
Okay. So these
if it doesn't get banned out.
Yeah, if it doesn't. This ban gonna be here.
There
it is. Yep.
Yeah. Wow, Severo's running out of options, man.
He might just go with the Moskov, man.
Fortunately, they have red 4. Like, if they're really down to it, they can lock it in.
Think if there are any other unique picks. If they end up settling with putting Super Prince in... Okay, if this shows up as a red 4 Kimmy, there's still an avenue for Severo to go fighter in the gold, or a more unique pick in the gold. There can't be a surprise Lunox pick because Harley will just pop out your brilliance. You're not going to make most... The amount of damage you get from Deadly Magic and even the burst from the Valentina will always beat the damage you can dish out with a Chaos Assault. You're not going to live that long.
All right, what are these bans going to be? Still, gold lane gets even narrower now. I really do think we might just... It might even be better that Severo just gets the...
Fighter?
Like
Moskov Granger.
Either Moskov Granger or what fighter could he potentially play? Because the Sora's gone, Freya was banned out.
What else is there? CC?
CC might be your best bet for
Decent Shin.
gold lane.
If you're looking for a fighter.
Oh
Yeah,
actually.
YSS gold, but I'm iffy on the YSS gold because of the Valentina and Hardy and Sora. But they still respect it. Okay.
Lapu Lapu.
Yeah.
Lapu gold, kind of risky. I think I'm leaning more towards CC, and then you pick up just again a Kimmy.
Is
for Super
today the
Friends.
day ONIC woke up and said, yeah, we're going fighter gold today?
Probably. Because it's even tough to pick up a Ruby here because you have the Valentino on the other side who steals away your I'm offended.
And the Ruby only works as a gold laner when you have like a marksman-ish jungle.
Yeah. Even though Leomord is basic attack base, it's not range.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the Kimmy is not enough of a marksman to warrant picking up a Ruby gold. Plus, you don't even see your matchup yet.
Oh yeah!
Oh, right.
Obsidia, the newest marksman.
Another unique pick right now in week 2.
She got a buff a little better in the early game, the recent patch.
And at the same time, she also scales better with late game as well. So in the similar idea of Claude, wherein she gets stronger with more items, you can definitely feel that.
I'm just wondering if she might potentially get blown up here though too. With with the Harley and the Valentina, and have a little bit of trouble to maneuver with the Sora across.
I like the intent though. With the ultimate, she's able to like pin down the Harley.
Yeah, that's true.
Need a lot of physical. I think just go for Khalid Granger or Khalid Moskov. Oh, they ended up going for the CC Gold. Oh, this is a new one.
Okay.
Baksha.
Baksha Rome.
Yeah. Baksha Rome, high invade. You have the Tortoises, Pusans.
A little old school.
Yeah.
It is.
I like this approach.
Is this their potential answer for the Leomord basic attack lifesteal that he gets? Super Friends, I think, get burst would be good.
So Benny won't Sora, but he will CC.
Yeah. I think strong burst for Super Friends, but I think they really are thinking about the Harley. Strong escape. Kagura has always been meh for me, but this they might consider it. Farce is still there, but then there's a Harley, Sora, Baksha, and a Valentina. Might not be good. Zetian and
Zetian and Farsa maybe? Yeah. Farsa. All right, Farsa gets picked up. I'm actually surprised with Farsa's win rate right now, man. 20%.
Something had to give. Something had to give.
She was too good for too long.
I think at the last moment, no, just in this matchup alone, ONIC was trying to deny an ult for the Valentina.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, no, but we need some action in the early.
Yeah. They needed that burst. They needed the control. And this is one of the craziest lineup ratings I've ever seen.
9.4?
That is insane.
I know we take some of these with a grain of salt here, but man, I don't think I've ever seen, 9.4.
I am taking this with an entire tub of salt.
Take it with a grip.
A brick?
A grip.
A grip.
If you were Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
That's a lot of salt. That's more than a grain.
Oh, and it's a revitalized Baksha too. Really old school.
So he's playing in the paint.
Yeah. In your face, the revitalize extends the team fights. You sort of soft negate the damage of the heal the burst because you'll just heal back through it. Let's see how it goes.
Let's see how it goes. We jump into the game here. Game 2. Will TNC sweep ONIC Philippines with this draft? Again, you guys can let us know in the comments below. This one's going to be interesting, though, too, just because of the way that TNC is approaching this. I mean, essentially, Chaknu still able to do somewhat what he did on a Marcel in the sense of vision, and this time he's not able to kind of freeze people in a golden hour, but he's still a threat, even with a revitalize now in this Baksha, to help heal things up. And then Stome, off of the performance he had in Game 1, we'll see if he can replicate that here in Game 2.
Yeah, so it's an assassin emblem set for King Kong, not the MP the King marksman emblem for the Leomord that we've been seeing.
Oh, 3 more in Chaknu. Dogpile on Ryota. Ryota wants to push him back. He'll be fine.
I call Super Friends down here. Seeing if they can just delay this take on this EXP crab. Oh, they're going to be fighting for this crab hard.
Oh, wow.
Beside us here. Yeah.
Base escape.
He got it.
Yeah, short delay on the farming pattern, but he's fine.
Yeah. Gets a retreat away. King Kong is level 4, full clear up top. Now down to Lizard. Seems like we're going to be seeing a 4v4 for this turtle. If Benny QT can get close to level 4, maybe right after this wave, he might join in the fight. Oh, Brusco takes a lot of damage.
Yep, thrown out the deadly magics. Fortunately, he will have recovered enough to still be an impact player for this first hurdle.
Yeah, did he flicker for that, or did he just run? I'm trying to wait to...
Yeah, let's see.
I think I remember hearing a flicker sound.
Yeah, it sounded like he did, but even without...
He
did.
Yep.
Even without that, he's still going to be okay for this first hurdle, depending on how he approaches it, because he could just get deadly magicked again and not having a flicker. He's going to have to rely on running.
Full zone out as TNC secure this turtle. ONIC, a delayed response. I mean, King Kong still pressed the Phantom Steed, but there was no action to be had there. Oh, Brusco, another one gets hit by the deadly magics, and not this time. Zyda draws first blood.
As I said, he's had a threat of getting deadly magic again.
Yeah, kind of perplexing to me as to why Brusco still decided to move forward. You already saw where they were going.
And no flicker.
Yeah, no flicker. Bro, you have enough information of where they are. You just ended up giving a kill to the Harley.
Yeah. Bit of an unnecessary death there from Brusco,
For sure.
but one of those things too. Again, with Zyda getting an early kill, now you have objective.
1v1. Ryota versus 3mar. 3mar flickers in through lightning form. The dangerous 3mar hits it.
Yeah, 3mar has some words also for Ryota. I think after what happened last week, 3mar is looking for vindication.
Yeah, 3mar, one of those XP laners. You see him get a hero like this, he's gonna make plays.
Dude, I can't believe people in my comment section are saying, I don't feel 3mar, I don't feel 3mar.
You feel him now?
You feel him now?
Again, he's one of those players where if it's a 1v1 in the XP lane and he knows he can take it, he'll take it.
Yeah.
Sometimes even if he doesn't know he'll take it, he still might try to get it.
To be fair to your viewers, last week he did get kind of soft biffed by LVJ.
Yes. Oh! The Mamba jumps on the
There he is.
misses him, finds Brusco, gets taken down, Benny scores.
Damn.
Oh no, King Kong got cold feet. He did not push forward.
He didn't. I don't know if it was because the Revitalize was popped and he didn't think he could capitalize on the kill.
Okay, was that discipline or was it more of just like maybe not this time? Not yet.
No, not yet. It's exactly what Icy said, with the Revitalize popped off, and if they were at around 10% health, he might have decided to go for it, but the initial burst of the Revitalize already brought them closer to the 20 threshold and even higher. That would continue ticking. King Kong would have been really greedy trying to get that kill. Still, though, that's a warning shot for TNC.
Whoa! They find 3mar, they pop him!
Okay.
They needed that.
Ryota gets his vengeance.
Yeah. I think ONIC just quickly get your purple buff and then now go for this turtle. Look for Zyda's Harley first and then re-engage. See what you can get after that.
The Mamba jumps on the Brusco. Has no puissance. Goes in on Barbiel and the Mamba is taken out just like that. Oh, last second puissance. In comes Benny. Gets that critical on the Brusco and King Kong. Where's the damage? A stolen Phantom Steed forces the flicker out of Brusco. Ryota is going to get popped here. One more hit. He's still alive. Relentless. But still gets popped just like that as Zyda secures the second turtle. 3mar once more. Prince flickers, or rather flies under tier 1 in mid.
We have a Harley problem in the league, folks. This Harley pick is...
He's unsupervised.
Unsupervised, it affects compositions and team fights way too much. Still though, cannot count out ONIC. Definitely still have the damage. Again, a few warning shots here and there. But it also ended up becoming to the detriment of Brusco and King Kong. The initial curtain call actually was just supposed to latch onto Brusco, but then King Kong ran way too close to him, or maybe Brusco ran way too close to King Kong, that it ended up latching to both of them, setting up those kills and setting up those members of ONIC getting brought down low.
I think one of the biggest things we have to watch out for here is if ONIC can actually get online with Severo. He is farming up. He got that tier 1 up top down. Now he's staying on that bottom side. Potentially going to push this one down too. So TNC will lose some map space to work with because Severo's just knocking these down as he gets it. But also, I'm wondering what the impact will be with the Obsidia once the team fights start to break out as the third turtle is up here shortly.
Yeah, exactly. Severo had hella space to farm up. So TNC are winning the center, but they haven't really done anything yet to completely disrupt the gold lane. And now ONIC and Severo are still going for it. No, okay, they decided to safely back off. There is still the damage reduction buff on the turret.
Yep, there's a few, what is that, a minute more?
Yeah, roughly.
Yep, 7 minutes, give or take. 30 seconds until the last turtle comes up. ONIC yet to taste a single one of them. Brusco playing footsies with Zyda.
Yeah. In terms of the mid lane damage, it's not a huge gap, so TNC still cannot get comfortable. Once it goes into a full 5v5 fight, they have to mark Severo properly, or they're going to regret giving all the space to the Obsidia.
And maybe that's where the curtain call could come in handy here from Benny Cutie, just to kind of help. Also, you still have the Terrify, and of course, Three-Mar on this Sora.
Brusco checks that brush, finds 2 in there. It's Chakno and Three-Mar. Zaida reconsidering the priorities, team fight or turtle. It looks like the call is to engage first. TNC move on over. Chakno with a slight pull.
Yeah, with how ONIC are positioning, this is going to be an easy setup for Three-Mar if ever he can find an angle.
Chakno rolls out, spots Ryota, spots Brusco. King Kong in the Y brush. King Kong waiting for it. Turtle secured here. Three-Mar with an amazing torrent. Finds King Kong. Benny gets killed. And they jump onto the 3. Ryota in Turtle pursuit, pushing back the rest of TNC. Pays with his life.
Oh no, Severo trying to run to and disengage. They're going to lose this buff here.
Oh no, they push forth. TNT are committing Grand Theft Purple.
Just as I said it, ONIC were positioning way too close. I understand they want to protect Super Prince and Severo, but when all of you collapse that close to each other and you don't watch your spacing, that makes it easy for the Sora to set up over and over again. And Three-Mar was just, thank you, I will take this, and he got that big 3-man setup.
Man, again, I'm left wondering what happened here.
The big Three-Mar setup?
The big Three-Mar setup.
Big Three-Mar setup.
With that torrent, man. It was just placed perfectly. And then you see this, like Severo's just, he doesn't have much space to work with here. And he's trying to get space, but they just get collapsed on. And this is what I was saying is, how's this Obsidian going to work in these fights, these team fights for ONIC? Right now, it's definitely struggling. They might have to look for something themselves.
Yeah, I have to praise TNC for, instead of going for the obvious Khalid pick that we thought they would go for, they actually went up with a Baksha, with a Revitalize. It ended up working out very well for them because you want the front line of the opposing team to go down as quickly as possible so Severo can latch on, go forward, you get an early kill, and then that forces the formation of TNC back. ONIC, with an Obsidia, like to play that front to back. Considering there's a Baksha with a Revitalize now, Baksha does not care about the front to back. He is the front, and you need to back off when you see him.
And he's got, I believe, the Chastised Pauldron, and so that helps deal with the Obsidia a bit. There's a Divine Glaive now for Stome. Zaida, I believe, just recently picked up the Lightning Trunchet, so like these items, these key items are falling into place for TNC. That Power Spike definitely getting there. The Flying Cloud Journey from Ryota. Oh, Brusco.
Brusco gets jumped into by Chakno and dogpiled by TNC. Another free pickup for the Phoenix Army.
And Brusco just can't play in this game either.
Yeah. The Hilda just keeps getting taken out. Way too strong a front. We might end up seeing TNC get their first series win of the season. It might be a sweep against ONIC. Everything has gone their way. They've ticked their conditions. Even though Severo does have the gold, ONIC doesn't have the front line to hold for their Obsidia, which is why, again, the brilliance of the Valentino pick, Blue 1. Before that, here's a play.
Oh, Chakno catches Ryota. A stolen feathered airstrike pushes the rest of ONIC back, denying them from tasting the orange. TNC are taking control.
Yeah. Severo will push down bot to flow that minion wave a bit. And as I was saying, so there is, in recent trends, if there's a Sora on the other side, if your EXP laner is comfortable with it, you can find Arlots who outplay Soras and actually control the Sora and the opposing team really well during Turtle 1 once the Arlot has the final slash. But the thing is, you couldn't have played Arlot if you were on it because, again, the brilliance of the Valentino Blue 1 pick.
And that's why teams need to either just ban it out at some point or consider what they really want to trade out here, because ONIC has struggled against the Harley, the threat of Harley, and now that you've got a Holy Crystal, you're looking at the Genius One, like he's locked in. Zaida, oh, they're going to start things up again.
Almost single-handedly forcing responses. A torrent from Three-Mar trends Brusco once more. King Kong already use a Phantom Steed. Early on in that fight, Super Prince wailing away. Down goes Stome. And another kill for Severo, 2 for him. Brusco falls. Zaida trading blows with his Obsidia. Ryota jumps in. Severo shut down. A triple kill for the Savior as Benny Cutie falls back. Severo wants one more. Can he get it? The Maniac on his Indonesian Wonderkind.
It's locked in. Welcome home, Stone, but Severo with turn to bone.
Oh man, I was asking when does this Obsidia show up, and it just showed up at the right hour into this game, the right minute. coming in with a Maniac here, and you wondered, what was he doing farming up all game? Well, there you go. Let's take a look at the replay here.
Locked in, dude. Perfectly onto Stone also. And then it was actually Ryota who ended up capping that off also with a knock-up with a Dark Wave on him. So that was a great link-up between Ryota and Severo.
Oh, man, you see that there, too. Even
I can only
Zaida.
imagine the target acquisition. Like, what was the call for Severo? How do they know which one they're fighting now?
Oh, man, that is a massive turnaround.
They got blowed up.
They got blowed up.
It's funny because like for Severo, the problem is, man, where's my front line? I don't get enough of front line. I am the front line now, says Severo.
Is he not the pressure?
He is the pressure.
He is the pressure. He's the pressure in this game.
The pressure.
Front line.
Yeah.
He's taken down all these turrets as well, by the way.
Yeah.
So Severo's putting in work, picked up the Maleficon, now working on his Rose Gold. Chaknu jumping in.
Okay, finds Severo.
Oh,
Not
he
much of a
knows.
response just yet. In comes the rest of TNC. Chaknu still alive, power to revitalize. Three more goes the hunting. There's right the answer by Prince. Severo falls. Benny finds Brusco. 3 more right out for Super Prince. Finally gets another kill. Puisan gets by. Chaknu softened him up. Down goes Ryota. Down goes Prince. Done by Zaida. And Benny gets a Maniac. It's a wipeout. The storm meets the storm.
Mamba mentality setting up the team. He knew he was there, and they got the wipeout.
They're in the base. They've got minions. TNC find their first win in Season 17, sweeping ONIC Philippines.
I see your Maniac, Severo. Well, I'll take mine, says Benny Cutie.
What a sudden turn of events to end this game. Chaknu knew. He saw that the members of ONIC were too far out and that there were members of TNC ready to jump in and join him for the takedown. Credits to Zaida as well for zoning out Super Princess Farsa, forcing him all the way back, taking him down. What could have been ONIC forcing game number 3 is TNC getting the sweep.
Again, sportsmanship there on stage. It looked just a little bit promising for a moment after the Maniac for Severo there, but man, what a turnaround. And I'll tell you what, man. Chaknu with the move like that, I hope he gets MVP here because that was a game-saving move there. But the team, again, Zaida on the Harley, performing back-to-back games on this hero.
That was proactivity up the wazoo.
Yeah. Proactivity, man.
He literally said, we do this my way or the highway.
Actually, Leo, I don't even know. Chaknu or 3mar. Like, 3mar was so big in this game, too, on the Sora.
High impact. I mean, come on, come on.
He was like 10mar.
Not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6.
10mar.
I mean, this was deep play for ONIC, but then after this, they were just caught up top. And it was like one of those slow realizations also, I think, for ONIC, where they were just like, oh no. Oh, they're coming here. Oh, they're gone. It's, you know, heartbreaking for ONIC because after this, it's like Severo got his moment, man.
It was one of those things, too. I just got to say, the box show with the flying clouds, man, allowed him to get there. Let's go ahead and throw it over on stage for the winning interview with TNC.
Phoenix Army, where you at? Wow, I love the energy. Palakpakan naman natin ang TNC Pro Team para sa kanilang first match.
Odin, what a fitting entry for the man beside me. The storm has indeed arrived. Storm, once again, welcome back.
Thank you.
Storm, kanina in our interview, sabi mo walang kakaba-kaba. Ano ba? Kinabahan ka ba kanina?
Wala
talaga. Wala talaga. And if anything, this is your first win of the season. Gaano kahalaga yon sa confidence mo para sa susunod pang matches?
Sobrang taas kasi yung ONIC, mataas din tingin ko kasi sa kanila respect din talaga. So, na 2-0 namin sila, so parang tingin namin, kaya na namin lahat ng teams.
Yeah, if anything, Odin, game gets game.
I love the confidence at yung dinala nila talaga ngayon sa larong ito. 2-0 sweep at syempre, hindi lang siya basta 2-0 sweep dahil meron lang namang nag-maniac in this game too. Nakanaludan, Benny Cutie with that CC. Benny, hindi ka talaga nagpatalo ha. Nag-mania kanina si Severo, pero binawian mo. paano mo ba i-rate yung laro ni Severo sa gold lane? Anong rating mo para kay Severo in the gold lane?
Okay naman po. Kasi tingin ko sa ngayon, yung role na golden is more on makikiconnect ka sa teammate mo. Hindi yung basta individual skill mo, okay, magiging malakas ka na.
So you are more focused on the macro plays na kayang gawin ng team nyo. And definitely, nag-translate yun sa laro mo. Benny, ano yung sikreto or ano yung mga ginawa ng TNC Pro Team coming into this week? Kasi nung week 1, medyo nahirapan kayo eh.
Siguro nag-reflect lang kami as a team. Tinignan namin kung saan kami nagkulang. And pinukusan talaga namin yung yung parang main issue talaga. Hindi yung issue na lumabas lang kasi natalo kami ng week 1.
So hindi nyo tinambayan ang problema. Instead, humanap kayo ng solution. Thank you so much, Benny. And with that, gusto ko naman kausapin si Chaknu! Chaknu! Dito ka nga sa gitna. Chaknu, grabe yung Marcel mo, no? Kasi ibang klase talaga, especially nung game 1. Maalala natin na nagamit na rin siya last week. Ano ba yung sikreto? Bakit napakabilis tumakbo ng Marcel mo? Ano yung sikreto mo pag ikaw gumagamit nun?
Kumbaga...
Para tips na rin sa mga RG boys.
Oo nga.
Tang job.
Anong tips mo sa mga RG boys sa paggamit ng Marcel?
Siguro, laruin lang ng laruin. Tapos enjoyin yung pag-picture.
Enjoy niya raw. More picture, more fun. Maraming salamat, Chaknu. Hindi niya binigyan ng tips. Basta laruin niyo, kayo na bahalang dumiscover.
Oo. And of course, again, it's another sweep. It's a sweep for this team. Right now, I think everybody's itching to know sino ang MVP for this match. Let us see!
Chaknu! Chaknu! Kayain mo daw yung post mo. Okay, Chaknu. Ang damit mo talagang fans, no? Parang kahit ilang season ang lumipas, hindi kumukupa si Chaknu, di ba?
Hindi!
Chaknu! Ano bang meron sa'yo ngayon? Mas malakas ka ba? Feel mo mas malakas ka ba ngayong season?
Depende pa sa kalaban ata.
Depende sa kalaban. Abangan namin yan. Ano naman mensahe?
That's so humble.
Oo, syempre. Ano naman mensahe mo sa buong Phoenix Army na nandito ngayon?
And thank you sa mga nanood dyan. Nanood ulit kayo.
Nood lang na nood. Nood lang na nood.
Punuin nyo lang tong Victoria Sports Tower. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations, TNC!
You may now take your walk of victory. Woo! Such a sweet victory para sa kanilang unang pagkapanalo this season. It's a 2-0 sweep. Ibang klase rin naman ang kanilang nakatapat na ONIC Philippines.
Yes, hindi basta-basta ang ONIC. As Stone said, respect pa rin for ONIC. And they're just getting started.
At syempre, kailangan natin malaman kung ano nga ba ang ginawa ng TNC Pro Team para sa manalo sa match na yon. Balik na muna tayo sa casters. Casters, ayun na to.
Thank you so much, Odin and Denise. And again, congratulations to TNC and congratulations to Chaknu on getting the match MVP. Well deserved. Yeah. And I loved his tips there for the Marcel fans out there.
What did he say exactly?
He said, enjoy taking pictures of everybody.
There you go. If that's not a tip, I don't know what is. That should be in the game with the the little loading screen.
Yeah. As Marcel, enjoy taking pictures of everybody.
Dash Chaknu so that there's some legitimacy.
Yes. Yeah. Open and close parentheses, MPL professional player from the Philippines.
There you go. Look at the MVP for game 2 here. Benny Cutie, 7-1-3. Got a maniac himself, man.
Yeah. Like we were all theorizing about the potential gold lane CC, but hell, it ended up with TNC. It seems like a lot of the things that we expected to end up with ONIC ended up in TNC's hands. The Harley twice now for Zyda, the fighter gold lane. But again, theoretically, this makes a lot more sense. You have a high impact EXP laner in the Sora. The difference this time around is the Sora's in the EXP lane, not your carry in the gold. Benny Cutie as well can quickly rotate with the CC. Plus, even though you don't have what's expected as traditional basic attack, what do you have? Loads of burst damage. Sora, burst. Harley, Valen, CC, they're all burst types, if you would consider it. The curtain call, once you have the Yo-Yo Blitz there, burst. And ONIC, their front line of the Hilda and the Phobias, we're not ready for that. Hence why for a lot of this game, it was us trying to see if Severo can finally find that time and find that angle. Here they were caught off. Again, the impact of flying clouds and Chaknu just saying, nope, we can do this. What a call.
Yeah, because if it wasn't a Baksha and it wasn't flying clouds, they wouldn't have been able to get that kind of setup.
A Baksha with a revitalized boot.
Yeah, because he was able to buy enough time for them to collapse down. So that was just a great play on a map that called for it.
For those who want to try this at home, do note that there's very little reason for you to do anything else with a Baksha in Rome besides revitalize.
Yeah.
Don't flicker, don't vengeance.
Don't petrify, please.
Don't petrify. It's Rome. So there is a reason for y'all to do this at home. But there is one thing I think Chaknu did very differently that most Bakshas still do today that I think worked very well for him here. He made his economy very efficient. Did not build dominance ice. Look at the lineup from ONIC. Very little reason for you to do so. Instead, rushed the Pauldrons and then fully built a Cursed Helm.
Yeah, they were full aware of their damage profile. They had way too much burst to even consider healing through all of that. Majority of the time, even if you have spell vap, whatnot, you have taken so much damage already from the Harley that you're not getting health back. All the damage you took from the deadly magic will just burst and kill you down anyway. So yes, it was fantastic itemization from Chaknu to go down the chastise, late armor out.
And it's funny because you saw the way that happened for Benny Cutie with the MVP there. And maybe that's why, you know, he doesn't want to play the Sora because he knows that, hey, 3-Mar trusts him to play it, played it to almost perfection, I would say. Almost would have been a case where I would have said 3-Mar could have been MVP there too. I think just, again, from game 1 to game 2, what we saw from TNC was just them really working as like a cohesive team, a cohesive unit. Yeah. And this is more along the lines, and I know it's a little bit of a different lineup here, but it's more along the lines of what we saw from TNC, especially in the playoffs. It wasn't just Saida now, it's everybody doing great things. Let's go ahead and hear exactly how it sounded with our Infinix mic check for TNC.
Trade lang yan. After neto, kailangan nating mirror yung Obsidia. Feel ko, lamang tayo sa farming, tas si Coco nagsosole. Mirror natin yung... Tunga, pre. Pre. First flicker out. Pre, kailangan natin bilisan na yung Obsidia mag-farm setup. Pakita sa Obsidia step. Then, I mean... Abutan niya, pre. Go. Kayo. Ba't na buhay doon? Hindi ko alam. Tawa, boss. Kalma. Atin na to!
There you go. That's the Infinix mic check. Stone, man, look at the impact. That has to be one of the most influential, I feel like, mic checks we've had.
He was calling out specific rotations after the play that they were doing already. Mid-play, they haven't even gotten the kill. He was saying, right after this, mirror the rotation of the Obsidia. You're gonna have to start man-marking the Obsidia.
Stone
what the hell?
Is home. Locked in the zone, man. That was it, right there.
And here I was expecting more. I saw the glint in his eyes like, I got something new. No, he just said the same thing.
That was our headline earlier. And listen to the Infinix mic check, man.
Yeah.
He was locked in.
I'm more impressive in what he did not say. Remember when Ryota was on him?
Yeah.
Like a fly on a dog? He said nothing because he knows how to take care of himself. That's impressive.
Hey, man. Again, This was an amazing series. Congrats to them. But also, we got to invite everybody to the E-Project Esports for Everyone. We're giving you the power to bring the MPL energy to your own local community.
That's right. Participants get exclusive access to tournament modes, free in-game items, and even diamonds. Just head over to ph-mpl.com/e-project. Let's do that again. ph-mpl.com/e-project to start your application.
Turn that passion into action. Visit our website for more information. Scan the QR code. A lot of people get involved with that. A lot of members of our community, a lot of grassroots make a name for themselves doing that sports project for everyone.
I love we have all the rhymes happening right now. You know, MPL PH Season 7 is where we witness the birth of the next generation of legends.
That's right. 12 teams are battling it out across 6 intense weeks of the regular season every Tuesday and Wednesday at 2 p.m. and earlier on Thursdays at 1.
Watch MDL, it's really fun. Watch the action live on MDL official pages. I didn't expect that. And have a readout. Come join the conversation and see the future of Philippine MLBB unfold.
Great headlines this week.
It is headlines. What is it? Sulong Pataas?
No, I mean,
is that what I saw?
In the MDL, Team Liquid Academy got their first win.
Oh.
Team Fuego also got their first win, among other things. And again, it's more reason for us to just get in on MLBB action in the weekdays.
And our super fans, if you guys want to stay updated on all the MPL PH and connect with the most passionate community in esports, join the MPL Philippines official Facebook group, the Superfan channel, and don't forget the official MLBB Discord.
Get your all-access pass, exclusive content, the latest news, and community discussions. Lead the conversation and have a chance to be featured as our Superfan of the Month.
Be part of the MPL PH family. Scan the QR code on your screen now and join the conversation. We'll see you there.
All right, gentlemen. That's day 1 in the books for week 2. How are we feeling?
Harley. I'm feeling Harley,
You're
bro.
feeling Harley, man?
Harley, Valentina are the revelation for today.
I'm feeling Phoenix Army today.
Feeling Phoenix Army.
Kailan laban TNC? Put in the comments.
You're feeling some big Phoenix energy?
Oh, yeah.
Big Phoenix energy. Look at the standings right here. These are Infinix standings right now after day 1, week 2. Obviously, AP Brand TLPH still up there. Falcons, Aurora, TNC. In 5th place, mid of the standings, but they're also there with the rest of them. ONIC, Twisted, and Omega. Omega still looking for one point, man. They need that match point. Yep. I know it's week 2. They have plenty of time to go ahead and adjust, but also we have our Fansik Laban. We got some cheers out there. Some of these competitors are in the MPL arena right now. Sonics are at top. They're 3-0, man. These are 2-0. Aurora's 2-0. We got the Cavalry there, Kodrongai, Green Falcons, Phoenix Army, and the Mines at the bottom.
Was it last season that the Mines could not be beat?
Yeah, they were like unstoppable.
They started off, and then it turns out they ended up not becoming the champions. For majority of Fansik Laban, they were number 1. Right at the end, they fell down. Actually forgot
who won the
Who is our champions?
Was it
We'll shout them out tomorrow. We'll shout them out tomorrow.
We'll find out.
We will shout them out tomorrow.
Yeah.
We will shout them out tomorrow.
We will shout them out tomorrow. Today was a great opening day for week 2. I think we got to still see some unique picks that were brought out, and we're glad you guys got to join us here. We're the We Bear Bros. It's me, Naisu, Leo, Redmar will be back here tomorrow. Let's throw it over the stage to close out the show.
What a way to end our day 1 of week 2! Odin, literal na bakbakan ang nangyaring match-ups ngayong araw. Grabe.
Tama ka dyan, Denise. The intensity is getting higher and higher here at the MPL Arena. Talaga namang ramdam na ramdam natin ang gigil ng bawat team na makuha ang momentum ngayong linggo. At mas titindi pang laban bukas dahil masasaksihan natin ang Clash of Titans. That's Team Liquid Philippines versus Team Falcons.
Yes, Odin, abangan bukas ang mas matitindi pang bakbakan at mas masasayang kwentuhan dahil bukas ay
Superfan Saturday! Kaya naman, magkita-kita tayo muli bukas dito lamang sa tahanan ng pinakamalalakas. This is your very own Odin.
And I am Denise Valdez Sancho. Ito ang MPL Philippines Season 17. Palag na to!
17th season of MPL Philippines is brought to you by the following sponsors. Infinix, the official gaming phone partner, the power behind every Madlang gamer. Smart, the simply reliable connectivity partner of the MPL. Our partner in esports, Clear Men. And our strategic partners, TT Racing, Fairy, and SIP. Don't miss any MPL action by following our official Facebook and subscribing to our YouTube channel. Follow MPL PH on TikTok for more content. Experience the lakas ng Pinas of MPL PH Season 17 live at Victoria Sports Tower. Grab your tickets now via the official MPL PH website. MPL Philippines is monitored and supervised by the Games and Amusement Board.